and we're back out of executive session for the redevelopment authority, or redevelopment agency. Is there a motion to exit executive session?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn.
And
Wait, hold on. Is there a second? Second. Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion?
it's, we also have a motion to suspend.
This is on the motion to exit executive session.
Okay.
All right. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor? All right. Is there,
That was an aye.
thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. All right, that is unanimous. And is there a motion to suspend the meeting of the redevelopment agency until the end of the city council meeting?
And the end of executive session.
Right.
We're going to suspend it until the end of executive session of the regular council.
The city council meeting. That includes executive session.
Correct. I make that motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous. All righty, it is 7:30 PM, and so, well, actually, all right, that one is suspended. So I will call the regular meeting of the mayor and city council to order. We have a full quorum present with council members McKenzie, Carn, Arnold, and Gay. So it is the first item on the agenda to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Chaplain Walker is doing our invocation this evening. And while he is making his way to the podium, I want to apologize. We have some HVAC issues tonight, and that's why we've got the lights turned off to try to make everyone a little bit more comfortable. But we appreciate your patience, and I think we're getting that fixed tomorrow morning.
Yes.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Madam Mayor and city council persons and city manager and everybody. Let us pray. Dear Lord, our Lord, we pause at the start of this city council meeting to invoke your name and place our mindset with our best values of College Park. The values are respect for one another, being transparent in all our deliberations, being focused on the health and welfare of all who work and labor in City Park, being inclusive of all in the spirit of dignity, love, and respect. And lastly, not to see the others we don't agree with as enemies. Help us to see that we are persons of dignity and well-being. Send your Holy Spirit, O Lord, to quicken our hearts and our minds. Stir the deepening of our abilities to reflect and reason together. May the Spirit be present as we execute the duties we agreed to do with our election, employment, or membership in the city. We know, O Lord, an old saying that when two people fully agree with each other, it only proves one thing. One person has quit thinking. So have in mind the ethics or the ethos of challenging one another, so the tension of opposing opinions can constellate the right mindset for the good of all. We give thanks now for our city councilman and mayor and the leaders of College Park. We give thanks for all department heads and their staffs. Assist us in making it known that we appreciate all persons who labor so we can have a better life, especially in these times of local and national strife. Help us to face our anxiety head on with dignity, grace, and obedience. We seek your assistance, O Lord, to be with us so that we can be as honest and caring and passionate people as possible. We hope to pledge to you and all in College Park to be the best that we can be in the name of love for all those things spiritual and or social. May we leave here feeling better about our commitment and our concerns for the best for College Park. So be it, in the name of faith, hope, and love. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
Our wonderful city of College Park. Let's embrace civility. Civility is more than just politeness. It is about disagreeing without disrespect, seeking common ground as a starting point for dialogue about differences, listening past one's preconceptions and teaching others to do the same. Civility is the hard work of staying present, even with those with whom we have deep-rooted and fierce disagreement. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, city manager, citizens, and visitors. I'd like to share a brief safety message with you. In the event of a fire, please remain calm and proceed to the nearest exits. Exit signs are clearly marked throughout the building, two at the front and two to the rear. Please follow the direction of College Park staff that designated assembly areas. And once outside, please remain at the assembly point until further instructions are given by city personnel. If you notice smoke or fire during the meeting, please alert staff immediately and follow evacuation procedures. Your safety is our priority. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Chief.
Agenda item 2, additions, deletions, amendments, or changes to the agenda.
Yes, Madam Mayor, we have quite a few.
All right.
10B, we want to remove. 10C, as in Charles. 10D is in David.
Hold on.
10E is in Elaine.
Look,
and
can we,
10F.
Mr. Hicks, can we go through them just one at a time to make sure that everyone's on the same page here? So 10B is the consideration of an action on a request to approve and execute a drainage easement access for the maintenance, repair, and replacement of a drainage area on city-owned property or the sale of property.
That's correct.
10C is consideration of an action on a request to approve a reasonable accommodation request for 2367 Ridgeway Avenue.
That's correct.
D is removed as well.
Yes, 10D.
That is consideration of an action on a request to approve a reasonable accommodation request for 2082 Lyle Avenue. And 10E is removed as well.
Yes.
That is consideration of an action on a request to approve a reasonable accommodation request for 2083 Rugby Avenue. And 10F is removed.
10F, absolutely.
Consideration of an action on a request to approve a reasonable accommodation request for 2109 Rugby Avenue. All right, so 10B through 10F would be removed. Anything else, Mr. Hicks?
City Clerk, will have anything else besides those?
No, sir.
That's it, thank you, ma'am.
Are there any additional additions, deletions, or amendments?
I just have a correction for item 10A. It says that this item will service all wards, and it only services wards 2 and 3.
All right. Is there a motion for those changes?
Motion,
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Any discussion?
yes.
Councilmember McKenzie?
I just want this to be on record that I am extremely concerned about the fact that items C, D, E, and F were placed on the agenda specifically because these are items in Ward 1. I was not aware of this, and there were homeowners that were not contacted about this, and I just need to say we've got to do better with the placement and the determination of items being put on our agenda. And so to all of those families that have reached out to me, all those property owners, on behalf of the City of College Park, I apologize because I was not aware of this, and this is not the way for us to do business.
Any additional discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion?
Is the second?
Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Item 4, council appointments. 4A is board appointment, Ward 1 BIDA, and Ward 2 Board of Zoning Appeals.
All right, we'll take those separately. Is there a motion to nominate Ward 1 BIDA appointee? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on. Is there a motion to approve the Ward 2 Board of Zoning Appeals appointee?
I had not heard back from my particular candidate over the weekend, but this will be teed up at the next meeting. Does anybody know when the next BZA meeting is? I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
It's June 8th, but they don't have one.
All right, thank you.
All right. Madam Clerk?
Yes, Madam Mayor. Next item is 4B, swearing-in ceremony of Environmental Judge Kimberly DeBrow.
All right. Will you raise your right hand and repeat after me? I, Kimberly DeBrow,
I, Kimberly DeBrow,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of Municipal Court Judge
the office of Municipal Court Judge
of the City of College Park
of the City of College Park,
and will do to the best of my ability
and will do to the best of my ability
support and defend the Constitution of the United States,
support and defend the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Georgia,
the Constitution of the State of Georgia,
and the Charter, ordinances, and regulations of the City of College Park.
and the Charter, ordinances, and regulations of the City of College Park.
I am not the holder of any unaccounted for public money
I am not the holder of any unaccounted for public money
due this state
due this state
or any political subdivision
or any political subdivision
or authority thereof.
or authority thereof.
I am not the holder of any office of trust
I am not the holder of any office of trust
under the government of the United States,
under the government of the United States,
any other stated or foreign state,
any other state or foreign state,
stated or foreign state,
stated or for the state,
which I,
which I,
by the laws of the state of Georgia,
by the laws of the state of Georgia,
am prohibited from holding.
am prohibited from holding.
I am otherwise qualified to hold said office
I am otherwise qualified to hold said office
according to the Constitution and laws of Georgia.
according to the Constitution and laws of Georgia.
I will truthfully,
I will truthfully,
honestly, and faithfully
honestly, and faithfully
discharge the duties of my office.
discharge the duties of my office.
Furthermore,
Furthermore,
I will perform the duties of my office
I will perform the duties of my office
in the best interest of the city of College Park,
in the best interest of the city of College Park,
to the best of my ability without fear,
to the best of my ability without fear,
favor,
favor,
affections,
affections,
reward,
reward,
or expectation thereof.
or expectation thereof.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor.
Judge DeBarle, I'll email you a copy tomorrow.
One more, please. One, two, three.
Item 5 is presentation of minutes of City Council. 5A, workshop session minutes dated May 4th, 2026.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Item 5B, regular session minutes dated May 4th, 2026.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Item 5C, budget number 1 minutes dated April 8th, 2026.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
5D, budget number 2 minutes dated April 13th, 2026.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Item 5E, budget number 3 minutes dated April 15th, 2026.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Item 5F, budget number 4 minutes dated April 21st, 2026.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Item 5G, budget number 5 minutes dated April 27th, 2026.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Item 6, proclamations, resolutions, plaques, and announcements. 6A, consideration of a proclamation recognizing the inaugural and Youth Civic Advisory Board, 2025 to 2026, sponsored by Councilwoman Dr. Jamel McKenzie, Ward 1.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
6B, consideration of an action on a request to approve a proclamation to honor and recognize June 15th as Congressman David Scott Day in College Park to be presented at the June 1st council meeting. This item is sponsored by Mayor Pro Tem Joe Carn.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a question. Is there any,
Councilmember Gay?
yes, sir. Are there any updates about the lettering, Joe,
The letter.
on the bridge? His name.
In terms of the large lettering, we're gonna have to reach out to GDOT about that, I think, and we'll check with Prime about with the Ferguson group about if there's any federal issues, meaning it's federal dollars. But anything that's attached to anything that's over a state route has to be approved in terms of if you add anything to it. So we got two hurdles to jump on that. Permanent brass plaque, though, we want to make sure that's corrected and fixed, so we'll make sure Prime's finishing up with that, with the bronze plaque.
Any additional discussion?
Just wanted to
Councilmember McKenzie?
just want to, piggyback on what Councilman Carn just mentioned to us and what Councilman Gay brought up. I would like to see that with expediency. It's, because it would be very nice as people are driving down Camp Creek to see that they're in College Park or that this is the David Scott Bridge.
I'm hoping it doesn't require the session to be in, that's the only hurdle that I'm worried about, but
Okay.
hopefully it's not that big of a situation, so we'll see.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Item 7, remarks of citizens. First speaker, Sarah Lowe.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, City Manager, and City Attorney. My name is Sarah Lowe from Adams Street in Ward 1. I'm here tonight in opposition to item 10J, the proposed ordinance amending Chapter 2 regarding official city documents and procedures for mayor and council meetings. Let's be honest about what this really is. This is not administrative cleanup. This is a power shift aimed at a mayor who asks difficult questions, demands transparency, and refuses to rubber stamp decisions without discussion. That should concern every taxpayer in this city. The mayor is asking questions about contracts, spending, benchmarks, and accountability is not disruptive. It's a part of her responsibility to the public. A recent example was the discussion involving Karen Jeremy and the Historical Society contract. Reasonable questions were asked before taxpayer money was approved regarding benchmarks, documentation, and accountability, and frustration was shown simply because those questions were being asked. And while this council continues lecturing others about professionalism and decorum, residents are watching vendors and contractors connected to city business openly post nude and sexually explicit content online, while also making trashy comments like, "Say it to my face," "Bring it on," "Yo mama," all across social media. These are not random internet trolls. These are individuals connected to city contracts, city relationships, and taxpayer-funded businesses. What is even more concerning is that some elected officials appear perfectly comfortable publicly associating and aligning themselves with this type of behavior instead of condemning it. Quite frankly, if this council wants to lecture anyone about professionalism and decorum, it should first take a hard look at the company being kept within its own circle and standards being tolerated from people benefiting from city relationships and contracts. To the city manager and the city attorney, your responsibility is not to protect political agendas, shield elected officials from scrutiny, or help silence difficult questions. Your responsibility is to protect the integrity of the city, uphold transparency, and ensure the public can trust this government. When ordinances are brought forward that appear designated to limit oversight instead of strengthen it, you should be advising against that, not helping facilitate it. I especially ask council members Arnold and Gay to vote no tonight because they appear to be the two of the only council members still trying to evaluate issues without picking sides or getting caught up in political alliances. Please think carefully about the precedent this ordinance sets for the future of our city. Thank you.
Thank you.
Randy Godfrey.
I'm going to read a prepared statement, and it largely piggybacks on what Ms. Lowe just said. Good evening. Randy Godfrey, 1966 Lyle Avenue. I want to speak about Section 2.23 of our own city code. It says the mayor shall sign ordinances as a matter of course. That is a ministerial act, routine, clerical, without discretion. And if the mayor doesn't sign within 3 days, the code says the ordinance shall be signed forthwith by the mayor pro tem. So the remedy to the issue that we're facing is already in our own law. So the pro tem was not improper. It was exactly what the code required. And this ordinance, if it's meant to fix that, is fixing something that is not broken. But let's be clear about what it actually does. There's a fundamental difference between can't sign and won't sign. Let's say it again. Can't sign versus won't sign, right? Can't sign means the mayor is hospitalized, traveling, incapacitated. The code handles that. Will not sign means the mayor has read the legislation, consulted her judgment, and concluded that it's bad law, and we've seen that before. That is not a malfunction of government. That is government working exactly as it is designed. Many cities do this. The clerk handles it. Somebody else handles it. It still goes into law without compelling her to sign. The ordinance erases that distinction. It converts a ministerial signature into a compelled endorsement and eliminates the last independent check voters place on council action. And consider what else this ordinance does. It gives the city attorney unilateral authority to intervene in meetings without being asked. After just 2 advisements in a single meeting, the mayor can be removed from the chair. 2. And who triggers that count? The same attorney this ordinance just empowered to act independently. On the other hand, we talked about this being fair and consistent. A council member who violates the procedure loses their speaking turn. The mayor loses the chair. Same trigger, vastly different consequences. That is not about orderly meetings, that's about control. These are 2 separate issues bundled into one motion. Each provision is sound. If it's sound on its own, vote each one of them separately. Let the record show exactly what this council chose and why. And I'll ask directly, Dr. McKenzie, Joe Karn, if you're running for mayor, is this the office you intend to operate from? Would you govern under these same constraints? Good governance reforms survive role reversal. Thank you.
Next, public speaker, Lorenzo Weish.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council, and fellow College Park residents. My name is Lorenzo Weich, Ward 2 appointee and treasurer of the College Park Main Street Association. I'm here tonight on behalf of our full board to formally introduce this organization to this council and to this community. The College Park Main Street, formerly known as CPMSA, was founded in 1999. For over 25 years, we've existed with one purpose, which is to preserve, revitalize, and promote downtown College Park, specifically the Main Street and Virginia Avenue business corridor. Downtown College Park is the doorway to the greater Atlanta metro area, and our merchants and commercial property owners are its hosts. CPMSA is the catalytic organization that activates this downtown and will help advance the continued growth of 6 West and the broader corridor. We are members of the Main Street America, and our accreditation is earned, not given. Our process begins when the mayor and council recommend a candidate. That candidate is then voted onto the board by the existing board membership. Once seated, every board member must complete a formal training course on the Main Street America program and pass with a score of 90% or higher to be accepted. We attend ongoing training, and our board chair recently represented CPMSA at the National Main Street America Conference in Oklahoma City to ensure that we remain in full compliance. Main Street America has 3 tiers of membership: Affiliate, Classic, and Gems. We are currently accredited at the Classic level. Under the leadership of our board chair, we are on trajectory to achieve Gem status within the next 5 years. What does that mean for the residents of College Park? It means your downtown is being stewarded by a nationally accountable, trained, and organization led by the merchants and property owners who have the most at stake in seeing this corridor succeed. Let me introduce you to our board. Vincent Mincy, chairperson, owner of College Park Shoe. Ebony Austin, vice chair, founder and CEO of Nouveau Bar and Grill. Leanna Bennett, marketing chair, owner of Buttermilk Biscuit. Desai Zuberi, secretary and founder of Zuby's Taco Kitchen and Bar, and a Maryland appointee, and our beloved Main Street manager, Ginger Melton, who handles our day-to-day operations, interacts with the city management, and the businesses on the ground. We produce 2 signature events every year: the College Park Wine Stroll in the spring and summer, and the Tinsel Trail, our downtown Christmas tree lighting in the winter. Events that prove downtown College Park, Main Street, and Virginia Avenue is a destination worth visiting. To every resident, every city employee, and every member of this mayor and council, we are asking for one thing: reach out to your merchants and property owners of downtown College Park, Main Street, and Virginia Ave, and encourage them to visit cpmsa.org and join this organization. A strong membership means a stronger CPMSA. A stronger CPMSA means a stronger downtown that can truly serve this community at its best. We are CPMSA, founded in 1999, nationally accredited, community-led, and right around the corner. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Grace McPhillips, Lunsford.
Good evening. I'm Grace McPhillips Lunsford. I live on Washington Road in Ward 1. I go to church in Ward 3. I often drop lots of money in Ward 4 for my children. I'm all over College Park, and I've really enjoyed being here in the city. I wanted to talk about progress and process today because as I was driving down Rugby, I was actually really happy to see something I've waited 10 years for, the beginning of sidewalks. After Flowers on Rugby towards Washington. I thought that was going to be a larger capital project and longer delayed, but happy to see it happening. Who knew that our nation would be going so backwards in this moment that we are trying for progress? We really have to work on our process. We really have to be attentive to detail right now, and there's been a couple of examples tonight, even in workshop, where we have displayed a lack of thought towards our process. It's exhausting. I won't say any more about the consistent attempts to limit forced collusion of anyone, but particularly Bianca. It's been exhausting. We've censured her once. Where did that get us? Do we really need to go down this road again? It's exhausting. To have progress, we need better process. When in workshop, I hear complaints about insurance costs, and if we could do physicals for potential hires is extremely out of touch, extremely out of touch. My own insurance jumped from $1,600 to $3,100 because I am self-employed. I have 5 people in my family. None of us have health conditions. None of us have prescriptions. That is insane. It should never be this way. It is more than my mortgage. There is an attack happening, and if you're not aware of it, it's really, really happening. Please check in on your small business owners, particularly in College Park, but also your residents. This month, I know of multiple people who have not only lost their jobs, but their entire departments to AI. Just let that sink in. Multiple people. Also, we had an airline closure. That hits us in home too. Our process needs to lead to progress. Please bring back email comments. You will not hear from me for over a year because I am off to a study abroad, and I'm grateful for this opportunity, but that also disconnects me from you all in case I need to say anything. It also disconnects people with disabilities, hands full, etc. If you cannot get your people to reply to you about boards, I'm just going to say it again, sortition, sortition, sortition. Please look it up. I've mentioned it many times. You can look it up in the notes. I have defined it. Sortition is something that we should be focusing on and getting new faces onto boards. We have really good people in this city.
Thank you, ma'am.
Julie McGorrick.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I am here to talk about item 10J. I am here to support Mayor Bianca Motley Broom, and I strongly oppose this ordinance as it's written. While some changes were made to soften the original proposal, the core issues remain. This ordinance still creates an unrealistic 3-day signing deadline with no exception for situations where documents are not even ready for signatures or contain errors, discrepancies, or unresolved legal questions. The mayor's role should not be reduced to simply rubber stamping documents without the ability to ensure they accurately reflect the council's intent. We've already seen situations where ordinance language did not match what was actually voted on. Careful review is not obstruction, it's responsible governance. I'm also concerned about the broad authority this ordinance gives the city attorney to intervene in debate and potentially trigger the removal of the elected mayor from presiding over meetings. This is not a minor procedural change. If this council truly wants better governance, the focus should be on improving transparency and requiring clearer legislative processes such as first and second readings for ordinances, not limiting oversight and concentrating procedural power in appointed officials. I urge this council to vote no on this ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next public comment, Shuja Temple 281.
They're not here. But they're not here.
That is all, Madam Mayor, for the public comments.
Okay, how much time do we have left?
We have 23 minutes left.
All right, if anyone wishes to speak and they did not sign up, they can come down at this time. All right, we will move forward.
Next item, 8, public hearings. 8A, 2026 to 2027 recommended budget presentation and public hearing.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council,
Good evening.
City Manager, City Council, and City Clerk. You got
Yes.
Since you give, Kelly's got the presentation.
I mean, I'm still seeing, are you waiting for the PowerPoint, Ms. Hammond?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Sincere apologies for the delay.
Okay, this evening, we're going to be presenting the 2026/2027 recommended budget. I want to start with the mission. The municipal government within the city of College Park exists to create policies and harness and direct human and financial resources in ways that cultivate a sense of community and a place where businesses, families, and individuals can thrive in a safe and inclusive environment. A vision statement. The city of College Park aspires to be a destination where people come to raise a family, start and grow businesses, live, work, and play, all in a sustainable and healthy social and physical environment. Next slide. Our budget overview. Our total budget is $227.4 million. The general fund is $58.3 million. All enterprise and special funds total $169.1 million. Next slide. When we're looking at our budget, we try to incorporate the city's strategic goals, and we assigned each department a strategic goal. Under quality of life, you have recreation, admin and programs, parks and facilities, stormwater, sanitation, and water and sewer. Under governance and customer service, you have public information, power, customer service, human resources, finance, city clerk, and executive. Under public safety and security, you have the police, fire, municipal court, and E911 communications. Transportation and mobility, you have public works, highways and roads, and T-SPLOST. Local economy and growth, economic development, business licenses, inspections, code enforcement, GICC, and Gateway Arena. Next slide. Key priorities. Next slide.
Next one?
Yes.
Okay.
This keeps freezing. I'm not sure why.
Okay,
Okay,
I'll
you
just
want me
keep
to back
going.
up a couple?
Yeah,
Right there?
right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm having technical issues with this remote, and I'm not pressing it, and it just keeps freezing. Sorry about that.
No worries. The key priorities of the 26-27 recommended budget were to keep the millage rate flat. We wanted to reduce community enhancement. We wanted to include a 4% cost of living adjustment. We wanted to do a comp study for all full-time city employees. And we also incorporated the senior 65-plus homestead full ad valorem tax credit. Included also were a reduction in electric rates and several tourism product development projects. Next slide. The 26-27 recommended budget revenue projections are as follows. The general fund, $58.3 million. Water and sewer, 11.6 million. Electric, 54.1 million. Stormwater, 1.8 million. Sanitation, 4.3 million. The golf course, $968,162. The convention center, 23.2 million. Gateway Arena, 10.3 million. BIDA, 17.3 million. Special funds, 45.6 million, for a total of $227,411,917. Next slide. The expenses are aligned with the revenue. We're incorporating a zero-based budget, so all of our expenses are gonna match our revenues, which gives us the opportunity to keep everything in line with the revenue. Next slide. We have any questions or comments at this time?
Any questions from the council? Councilmember McKenzie?
I don't have any questions because my questions have been answered, but I do want to make a comment, and I said this in the budget workshops, and I want to reiterate it again. This has been the smoothest budget process, and of course, I'm a newbie, but I just want to commend you, Director, for just having this information presented, and even this presentation tonight is superior. And I want to thank the city manager and all of our departments that came to work together. It was a very smooth process, very thoughtful. I feel that you all were really looking at this from several perspectives, not just on the ground, but bird's eye view. And so I just want to say kudos, job well done.
Thank you very much.
Councilmember Carr?
All right, thank you so much. Great job, great presentation. Appreciate all the hard work. City manager, great job. Department heads, I know you all worked hard to put this thing together. So Mike, hard choices, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right, well,
And kudos to the department heads for understanding that we have to come to a happy medium, so
it looks easy, don't it?
it's not that easy.
All right, well, thank you all so much.
Councilmember Arnold?
I just want to, excuse me, I just want to reiterate what my colleagues have already said. This has been a smooth and professional process. All of the materials were actually provided well in advance for us to study, to have our questions answered. And I appreciate us doing the zero-based budgeting opposed to doing incremental budgeting, which then meant that everyone had to defend every dollar that they were asking for, including us. And so I thank you, Mr. Hicks, Ms. Hammond, for making sure that this was a smooth process.
Thank you.
Councilmember Gay?
Is the budget gonna be online?
It is online.
Yes, sir.
Is it online now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Is the entire line item budget, or is it what we have in the packet?
The line item budget.
Okay. Councilmember Bernie, anything else? Anything further?
This is the first of 3 readings, 3 public hearings.
Two.
You're gonna have one more.
Yes, sir.
So if there's any discrepancy, anything we need to meet before that next reading.
Yes, sir. All right. Ms. Hammond, the $227.4 million, that includes the 4% increase?
Yes, it does.
All right.
And the comp study. We did an estimate for the comp study.
Okay, and what is that estimate?
It was 5%.
So, Madam Mayor, so, if I could kind of enhance what our finance director just said, after the HR director and I met today, and we looked at some of the insurance costs, because the money that we put in for 5% may have to go down 1 percentage point to 4%. We'll talk about that in executive session. There are 3 choices, and we'll talk about those in executive session. 50 percentile, 60 percentile, and 65%. And I'll talk about the one that we choose based on what we put in the budget, what the insurance costs, and where we land.
All right. Okay. Are there any motions at this time? Before I declare the public hearing open? Like the timing of the public hearing?
Yes.
Well,
Yes, someone make, for 60 minutes, please, we need someone to make a motion that
Well,
we
I
can
think
cut off the public hearing at 60 minutes.
say 60 or maybe 45 minutes?
No, 60 is fine.
60? All right.
Are there any motions?
Motion.
Could you state your motion, please, sir,
Motion for a 60-minute time limit.
on the public hearing?
That's correct.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, that is unanimous. Declaring the public hearing open. Those who wish to speak on the budget can do so at this time.
8:21.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
I stand before you tonight, not here as a partisan constituent, but as a citizen. Before I make my case, I want to say something that every resident in this room already knows. We've been here before, time and time again. Residents come up to this microphone night after night, ordinance after ordinance. We get our 3 minutes, in this case, an unlimited amount of time to make our case. And we feel like this council is going to do what they want to do anyway. Public comments in this chamber have become, sadly enough, a formality, a box to check off your agenda, a moment of polite silence before the gavel falls. That is the rhythm of the work being done up here, abusive legislation, budgets that sometimes don't make sense, pushed into the faces of our residents week after week without regard for the actual consequences. Drafted in private, debated in haste, defended against any resident who dares to question it. I know that. It's happened to me. You know that. So why am I here tonight? Because Dr. King said something 59 years ago that fits this moment as if he had written it yesterday. The time comes when silence is mere betrayal. The time has come for us, so whether this council listens tonight or not, what is said at this microphone is going on public record, and the residents of College Park have a right, and I have a duty, to put it there. So I have one question for this body. Where are your priorities in this budget? The public safety crisis this council has manufactured for all too long. Let me put the facts on the record. A College Park police officer starts at $53,606 a year. Sandy Springs officer, 30 minutes up the road, $84,000. That is a $30,000 gap, and Sandy Springs is not an outlier. Georgia State averages $62,000. UGA police officers start at $70,000. College Park is paying at the bottom of every regional comparison. And here, neighbors, is the truly remarkable thing. Every officer we train in College Park costs this city tens of thousands of dollars in academy fees, field training, equipment, and salary. We pay all of it out of our tax dollars. And then, having paid for the training, we watch our officers drive 30 minutes up the road to put that training to work for a city willing to pay them what they are actually worth. Apparently, we've decided that College Park is in the business of training Sandy Springs police officers, because that is, in fact, what we're doing. We train them, we keep them. We pay them, they benefit. We get the empty patrol cars and they get our officers. And every officer who leaves is one fewer body responding to your call when something goes wrong at 2 a.m. in the morning. Response times grow longer, investigations sit longer, domestic violence calls, mental health calls, property crimes, and all the fall when a shrinking department asks to do more with less. So I hope that while your budget only calls for a 4% annual increase, which is basically nothing, and then you said that you're going to decrease the 5% down to 4%, I ask that you rethink that. Make no mistakes. Conditions in this city are becoming dangerous, not because our officers are failing us, but because there are not enough of them left to do the job that we're asking y'all to do. While officers walk away, this council writes rules. Dr. Benjamin Mays, the longtime president of Morehouse College right here in our backyard, the man that Dr. King called his spiritual mentor and intellectual father, said something more than half a century ago that also names exactly what is wrong with this council. Not failure, but low aim is a sin. The failure of this council is not that you have tried and fallen short, but the failure is that your aim has been too low. You've aimed at silencing our mayor when you should have been aiming at protecting our city. You've aimed at procedure when you should have been aiming at public safety. You've aimed at consolidating your own power when you should have been aiming at serving the people who actually elected you. Not failure, but low aim. So I ask you, every member of this council, how is it that the council can't find money to keep police officers in College Park, has somehow find time to write ordinances that silence our mayor that we overwhelmingly elected? I'm sure, though, this is purely coincidental, right? Okay. Let me say what is right in front of all of our faces. A budget that fails our police, an ordinance that targets our mayor. Those are our priorities of this council in the open for all of us to see. And this is what this council does. This is a pattern. Legislation in our faces, consequences for us, no accountability for them. Tonight is just the latest chapter. What is this ordinance about? What does it do? We've already heard it from Mr. Godfrey and Ms. McCormick. The members have spoken. Make no mistake, we see what this is. Slowly. The mayor is required to sign every document within 3 business days of a vote. She's permitted exactly 7 reasons not to: incapacity, illness, death, out of state, military duty, legal disqualification, or a vacant office. This is the list, the whole thing, not paraphrasing. But what you are missing is what tells you everything. No exception for a legal question, Mr. Denmark. Nothing for a drafting error, Mr. Denmark. None for a discrepancy in the numbers, Mr. Denmark. None for a document that has not actually been presented for signature in 3 days. You cannot sign what you do not have. The people who drafted this know. The omission is not the oversight. That is the actual point of this legislation. Last year, this body voted on a package liquor license ordinance, and that language did not match what the council approved. The clerk herself confirmed it. Our mayor declined to sign it and asked that the matter be returned for confirmation. Guess what? It never did. We saw that. Under the ordinance that you're voting on tonight, that act of careful review would have been a violation. So the council's position apparently is this: if the documents are wrong, the mayor signs them anyway. The voters can sort it out later. The lawsuit that's waiting for us. And then this ordinance goes further. It hands an appointed city attorney the power to intervene in your debate, admonish you on a standard as subjective, as redundant or excessive, trigger a motion to remove the elected presiding officer from the chair of her own meeting. And now, I'm gonna talk to you plainly, every member of this council, what you need to know before you vote. This ordinance is a lawsuit waiting to happen. It restructures the duty of an elected official by ordinance, a power that may belong to the city charter, not to this body. It silences elected representatives and voters who choose them, raising serious First Amendment and voting rights concerns for every ward affected. It exposes this city to writ of mandamus, injunctive actions, and constitutional challenges that will be paid for by the taxpayers of College Park. Here's what every resident needs to understand. Every dollar this city spends defending this ordinance in court is a dollar that goes not to hiring more police officers. Every hour our city attorney spends litigating or drafting up memos, silencing our mayor, is an hour not spent of actual business of College Park. Your voting tonight puts this city's checkbook in the courtroom. Power concedes nothing without a demand, said by Frederick Douglass. It never did and it never will. So tonight we make our demand. What we, the people, are telling you tonight, to sponsors of this ordinance, let me say it plainly, you are choosing to pay our officers $30,000 less than the city up the road. You're choosing to leave our departments understaffed while the calls keep coming in. You are choosing to spend our energy, our time, our tax dollars writing rules to remove our mayor that was duly elected. This is not governance, this is something else. And as Dr. King said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. This is happening to our mayor and to our city tonight. Make no mistake, it is happening to all of us. You were hired by the voters of this city to fund our police department, to fund our first responders, to repair our streets, to protect our neighborhoods. And you were not hired to spend our time, our money, and our patience writing rules and playing games up here against the mayor that we elected. As President Obama said, we are the ones that we have been waiting for. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. If anyone else wishes to speak for the public hearing?
Hi, good evening. Thank you all for the opportunity to comment on the budget for this year. As Mr. Walker already mentioned, we're spending a lot of money on things that are just not what we should be spending money on. When our police are woefully understaffed the way that they are, working double shifts, covering for one another on weekends, few people on the street for the whole city, 4 officers at night for all of College Park. I don't know if that's 1 officer per ward. I don't know what that means, but 4 people for a whole city is frightening. That should not be the case. Even now, I think there's discussion of some $100,000 community enhancement for festivals, something or other. I don't understand why you need $400,000 for festivals that are citywide. We're so duplicative in the way we operate. Whatever the festival is, if it's open to the city, it's one festival. But we have 4 of many, many things because each one of you wants the opportunity to self-promote, to campaign for future offices, to have your names on flyers and banners, and if you give away backpacks in 2, then I gotta have a separate party in 4 and do the same thing. It does not make any sense when we have public safety in the state that it is, when you have streets with strips of cement, with poor infrastructure, broken pipes beneath the streets. Go ahead and do the things that we need to do as a functioning, serving, operational, sufficient government instead of prioritizing fluff pieces. It's a whole lot of money going to fluff right now. Every weekend, we're cutting ribbons, we're erecting fountains. The fountain, frankly, if you're honoring the Flint River, how about water protection and preservation instead of fountains by the train tracks. That's just, I digress. But the way we're spending money could definitely be re-examined, repurposed. We have completely lost focus of what we should be doing as a city and you as a governing body, and it is really, really sad. I frankly would like to have confidence when I call 911 and have an emergency and not hear from fellow officers that we've worked 5 weekends straight. I'm working double shifts. 3 people are working with me right now tonight. That is utterly ridiculous. We could do so much better. We need to do better. You have an obligation to do better to serve your constituents. And all I can say is, as residents, as constituents, please demand better than these people before you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishes? Oh.
I'll just say here on some of that stuff. I wanted to bring up youth in the budget. There's a number that has stayed with me from 2 years ago when Councilman Carn, you created the free opportunity for children to participate at the rec center. And one of the offsets on that was a $15 fee for any registration. I do not know what the number of that $15 fee came to this year, and I apologize for not coming forward with it, but I did know what it was the first year it was in, which was $27,000, which is a significant amount. And that should also show you how hot and awesome the rec center is. The rec program is amazing. I don't know if you know that there's like no boys gymnastics. Why? Because there's no room. It's so popular. Like you have to register the day of. But to bring that back to youth, I had written in a suggestion on process to a couple city managers and never heard back. But I do know that in registering my children as a College Park resident, I have never been offered a discount, which was something that was in my recommendation, is if we have this $27,000 that's coming through, maybe if you're a College Park resident, you don't have to pay that $15 fee to register something. And I don't know how that came together in the budget, but something else that in our sports athletic complex that is a hot topic, and with a lack of officers and a hardship coming to families, why I know many people who have lost their jobs, their families. The basketball court being locked, the third spaces for children to gather. If we do not have these safe spaces for them to gather for free, we're gonna need even more police officers. That's definitely been a comment in the community. And I know that's not direct to the budget, but maybe it is. Maybe it's a budget thing. We're locking the basketball court because we don't have enough staff or eyes on it. I don't know. And then the last comment I wanted to say, in the lack of air conditioning tonight, the budget hearings that I did listen to, because I was able to jump in and out, and again, thank you for streaming those. Please continue to stream them. It is important access. I was deeply concerned about the GICC chillers, and I heard your joke about the Thriller, and I hope that was because you felt the anxiety behind that. That's a really deep concern. It's great that we've got these major companies coming, but if I was one of those major companies booking that big of a conference and I knew that we were operating on rental chillers, I would have my backup real ready to go and maybe even go and negotiate with them. So I'm concerned about our income, especially in regards to the GICC and our equipment status. So just wanted to bring up those things because it is the public hearing tonight, and thank you for your considerations.
Thank you. Anyone else?
So thank you for hearing me. City manager, great job on the process of the budget, right? Zero baseline budgeting is not for the faint of heart. It is a tough thing to do, and I appreciate everybody's efforts. I want to reiterate around police. Something happened last year where on a Tuesday, I approached the police station to turn in a police report. I was met there with someone who was not an officer manning the station. They explained to me that there was no officer to take the report and that there were only 4 people in the field. They told me that if I called the non-emergency number, that a police may show up at my front door at some point in the near future. That led me to start asking a lot of questions about how we are staffed, right? To understand that we only have 3, 4, or 5 policemen on call at any point is really scary. And what we're asking them to do is an amazing feat. We're trying to have a 24/7 entertainment district. We have maybe 40 hotels. We have high crime in certain areas, right? We are asking them to do a tremendous amount of work without the resources. And what I heard in the budget hearing, when spoke about in terms of, and we all know the root cause, one, we don't pay enough. When I heard the response of budget study or salary study, it sounded like a delay technique. We can't keep doing this. This is unsustainable. And, you know, if I was a criminal, right, what better place to come to? If you figure something happens on, you know, in one part of the town, every policeman needs a backup, right? So if there's 2 or 3 backups, that means there's no police anywhere else in the city. There's opportunity for folks to do bad things, and we are liable because we cannot prioritize paying our police. We've got a population of roughly 14,000 people. However, with those 40 hotels, you, on an average day, increase that by 4,000 or 5,000 people, right? Transients, people who are bringing all kinds of things into the city, people who are looking to party, people who are looking for all kinds of opportunity, which again drives the demand up for our policing. We have to prioritize in a very serious way our policing. It has to come before anything else. There's no stability without it. So I ask you, please reconsider, right, how we are prioritizing around policing. And it can't be incremental, right? Right now, ideally, probably around 11 or 12 people should be on duty at any given time to support our base population as well as the population that comes through here in a transient fashion. We're at 4, right? Possibly need even more. We're looking at like FIFA. All of a sudden, you have more people coming through. How do we handle these situations with the staffing levels that we have? The police are doing great things. As my wife said, people are working all kinds of overtime to make up the gap, but that's not sustainable. We've got to find a way to deal with this in a very strategic, forthright manner. It cannot be incremental. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Julie McCourt, Virginia Avenue. I'm not going to keep beating the dead horse on supporting our police officers, but, you know, just recently on Conley, there was a huge block party that got out of control really fast. Our police officers, God bless them, were there quick. They got it shut down. They got people moving away from the area, from the hot spots. They had Virginia Avenue blocked off at Victoria up until about 11:15 that Saturday night. Around 11:15, I heard those sirens go off, and they flew off to another part of the city. Well, 15 minutes later, gunshots from Conley. Nobody ever came back. So please, revisit supporting our police officers and paying them a wage that they can live on and that they will stay in our city and be invested. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to speak? All right. I'll declare the public hearing closed at this time.
Madam Mayor,
Councilmember,
I just have a comment.
go ahead.
I wanted, this is not like public comments where we can't respond. I wanted to give everyone the opportunity to speak. But I do want to inform the public, first of all, I started the chaplaincy program for police in this city back in 2016 because I realized that our police did need support. And in 2022, when I was not even an elected official, I stood right there and championed for increases in our police salaries. And the council heard me, and they responded. I did not have to put anyone down. I simply spoke what I believe about our police. And yes, I do want everyone to know, we do need to pay our police additional funding. I will also say this, as still being a chaplain, I'm just not chaplaining in College Park, but I'm still a chaplain, and I'm still a instructor, a certified instructor for police officers. So if there's anything that's more dear to my heart, it is public safety. I'm an advocate for public safety, and I will fight for public safety. And during the budget season, when we were coming through these workshops, I discussed this, the importance of this. And I just want to preface that because you're not talking to, and I can't, I'm not going to speak, well, I will say something because we even have, my uncle died a police officer, 911 in New York. We have people up here who have family members who have served this city in law enforcement. So we hear you, and that is important. And I will tell you that in this budget that we are looking to approve, there is a 7% increase for our police salaries. I wanted 10%, okay? I'm still fighting it. But we are getting 7% increase because you're right. We cannot compete in this market with the rate that we have right now. But I also want you to know, because I am a strong advocate for public safety, that it's bigger than you think. One of the reasons we don't have officers is not just because of salary. Every single municipality in this state that has policing is struggling with the same thing, that people just don't want to go into the field. And with television, some come into the field. And I'm telling you, this is officers speaking to me, okay? I'm not making it up. People coming into this field, a lot of the younger people, they think it's like what you see on TV. And that's not what it is. So they get in, and it's not what they expected. And yes, they get trained, because they have to be trained to realize it's not what they expected. And they leave, okay? It is very hard. And if Chief McCrary would get up here, or whoever our recruiter person is, they would let you know how difficult it is to identify persons who want to go into policing. So this is a challenge for all municipalities. And I remember Darnetta Tyus, because when I was fighting this fight back in 2022, she was our city manager. And she said, we're not going to win the salary war. Because as soon as we raise up the salary, some other municipalities are going to raise theirs again. We have to be able to offer to our law enforcement team more than just money. Money, yes. And one of the things that citizens can do, and I challenge you as citizens, because we did do this at one time. We used to get signs made up, and we put them in our yard saying, "We love CPD." We had a whole group of beautiful ladies, and I was a part of it, that used to come and bring things to our officers, show the community. The community needs to embrace our officers as well. So on the municipal level, the legislative level, we are working to increase these salaries. I'm not happy with the increase, but I'm thankful for the fact that the city manager and finance was able to put a 7% increase. And it may go even higher if we can get that 5%. But that's based on the 4% increase, not the 5%. So if we get the 5%, there's a possibility that we can get some more for our officers. But I want you to understand that your fight is not on deaf ears. If there's anybody up here that has rode in a police car and been with the police officer and helped them through a crisis, seeing a baby killed, a child wounded, prayed with officers, counseled them, I've married officers in this city, but I've also buried officers. I've been to their funerals, and my heart goes out to them. So just understand that this is not one of those fights where we're not listening. We hear you, and we're going to do everything we can. And I don't want our residents to keep coming down here and thinking that your concerns are falling on deaf ears, because they're not. And we will continue to do everything that we can to make sure that our officers are compensated, but we also want to, as a community, embrace them. Let them know they're welcome. Do something nice for an officer. We like to complain a lot when we don't get the response time that we want. But there's nothing wrong. Every time I see an officer, most of these officers right here will say, what do we say? Thank you for your service. We appreciate you. A little compliment goes a long way. So again, we hear you. I care, and I'm going to do everything I can. I want safe streets, and it's bothering me, the numbers that you're saying of officers, and we're talking about all this right now, but we're inviting the criminals right now to come to College Park. That's it.
All right, consent agenda?
Item 9A, consideration of an action on a request to approve the Save the Date Boys to Men community event to be held July 1st, 2026 at the Gateway Arena. This item is sponsored by Mayor Pro Tem Joe Karn. 9B, consideration of an action on a request to approve the Save the Date Helping Hands Holiday Dinner and Gift Event and Kids Fest at the GICC on Saturday, December 19th, 2026. This item is sponsored by Mayor Pro Tem Joe Karn. 9C, consideration of an action on a request for approval of a state purchasing agreement with Dell Marketing, Inc. through the State of Georgia contract for the purchase of 20 workstations in an amount not to exceed $154,170. This item is a budgeted item, is requested by GICC Arena and Golf Course Executive Giannis Barner. GL account 555-4970-547640, fiscal year 2025 to 2026. This will service Ward 2. 9D, consideration of an action or request to continue to provide uninterrupted accounting services for the GICC Arena and Golf Course through procurement of contracted accounting services for the business manager position in the amount of $2,500 biweekly. This item is requested by Executive Director Giannis Barner. This is a budgeted item, fund contracted services, GL account 555-4970-526170, fiscal year 2025 to 2026. This will service Ward 2. Item 9D, consideration of an action on a request for approval of the health and benefits renewal as presented by SCR Consulting LLC for the plan year July 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2027. This item is being requested by Director of Human Resources and Risk Management, Krista Gilbert. This is a budgeted item.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Karn. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
One question, City Manager.
Councilmember Carn, please address me as the,
I have a question for the city manager.
okay, so
My
that's still,
question
wait,
is
hold on,
this.
Councilmember.
I
Councilmember,
just
that-
addressed you, Mayor.
Councilmember, hold on. I've got to acknowledge you, and then if you have a question, go
You
right
said
ahead.
councilman, you acknowledged me. I have a
Councilmember,
question.
Councilmember, hold on. All right, you have a question for the city manager,
It's
correct?
precisely why we're looking at, need this agenda item coming up.
I'm just,
I'm having a discussion, I'm trying to have a discussion with the city manager. I have a question for the city
Councilmember,
manager.
as the presiding officer, I would ask that you address your request to me first,
Mayor,
and then
Councilmember Clay, Councilmember Allen have never, ever had to address and ask you and address you for every question they ask. They ask the city manager constantly, they would ask the city attorney constantly, department heads, the city clerk with no issues from you whatsoever. I'm not gonna be treated differently from those former council members for whatever reason you have treating me completely different. That's not gonna happen up here. And no one has to ask you for permission to speak. You
Actually-
recognized me, and I asked him a question, just like
Councilmember,
the rest of the council members
Councilmember,
have done.
Councilmember.
Mayor, you
Councilmember,
recognized me, I had the floor.
Councilmember, please, I
You
would ask,
recognized me, and I had the floor.
Councilmember, I would ask that you not interrupt me.
Mayor, you interrupted me. You said Councilman Carn,
And I
you
would ask
gave me
that
the
you not
floor,
raise your voice
and I
either.
spoke.
And I would,
Mayor, no one's
Councilmember,
raising their voice.
I do believe you did raise your voice. And
I had the
Councilmember, I
floor.
would just ask,
City
moving
Attorney,
forward,
point of
moving
order.
forward, could you
I had the
please,
floor, did I not?
Councilmember,
She recognized me. Thank you.
Councilmember, you have it,
Mayor, I have the floor. I have the floor, and you gave it to me. And I'm gonna be afforded the right to speak, just like the former council members that had no problem, and you would never have them address anything to you. like that.
Councilmember, that's inaccurate.
No,
and
that is not.
It is, and
No,
I would
it's not.
ask that you not argue.
Mayor,
We're
you-
here,
I'm not
we're
arguing. I
just,
had the floor.
Councilmember,
I just didn't want to be interrupted.
Councilmember, and I would also ask that you show me the respect as the presiding officer and not interrupt me. Thank
Mayor,
you.
you interrupted me. You gave me the floor. You said, Councilman Carn, and I started speaking. Then you interrupted me.
Councilmember, what I said was, I was asking you to address me first.
You didn't ask the other council members that at all.
Councilmember, we're all here just trying to do the business of the city.
And that's
And
exactly what I was
would
trying
ask
to
that
do
you
before
want-
you
and-
interrupted me,
and-
Mayor.
And if you would, Councilmember, you're out of order.
Mayor, no, you're out of order. I had the floor, and you gave it to me. You're out of order.
Councilmember, I'm the presiding officer of this meeting, and I would ask that you just address me if you have something to deal with, and then we'll go from there.
City
Now, I
Attorney, is that any
understand-
requirement in the charter whatsoever? And no council members have ever had to go through this? The former council members have never had to go through this at all?
Mr. Denmark, Robert's Rules of Order do dictate that if someone wishes to be addressed, that they address the presiding officer. Is that not correct?
That is correct.
Thank you very
That
much.
is not a practice in this city and never has been.
We are following Robert's Rules of Order. And so,
Well, we
Councilmember,
weren't following them when there were other members of this council that were not
It has
of
not
this
been
same,
consistently applied.
not of
but
this
we
same
are
color
following
up
Robert's
here.
Rules of Order, except when we don't feel like it. And
Except
so-
when it
and
applies to certain
Councilmember,
council members. The former council members did not have that requirement whatsoever on them. And you're not
Councilman
gonna
Carr,
place one
I
arbitrarily on
recommend
us.
that you
Councilmember,
submit your appeal
Councilmember-
to the full body
and
and
Councilmember,
let the
hold on.
council make a
Mr. Denmark,
determination.
hold on one moment, please.
The meeting is
Councilmember.
degenerating into uselessness.
I agree it's useless. We are adults, and I would ask that we all be treated as such. Councilmember, if you have a question for the city manager, please go ahead.
All right, what item are we on? City clerk?
We're moving to item 10A.
City clerk, I had the floor. I believe I
We're
had the
moving to
floor.
item 10A, sir.
I asked the city clerk a question, Mayor, with all due respect.
None,
didn't ask.
none given. But go ahead.
Okay,
Madam Clerk?
all right.
Yes, Madam Mayor, we are proceeding to item 10A on regular business. I was about to sound the item.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Please sound the item.
My question manager was in regards to our healthcare provider. They mentioned they were gonna be coming back with another option that may bring a lower rate, so I didn't wanna lock us into anything there, so I just wanted to make that clear.
That is correct.
All
It's
right.
supposed to be coming back with another option. So that item on the consent agenda, we want that item removed because they're supposed to bring us back another option. So we didn't get a chance to talk to you guys about that particular item.
It
We
was
don't want
just
to vote
approved.
on that item because they're going to bring back option two.
It was
All right.
approved.
Well, I'll make a motion to pull that one until if that's the case. Now, well, theoretically, we approved the consent agenda. We're gonna move forward with a health plan, with a medical coverage plan. We just have to pick the exact one once it comes back, so that's fine. I just wanted to just notate that for the record, that we're gonna have them come back and, before we approve the budget, because it's part of the budget, depending on the amount and the deal we get. So I just wanted to point that out. So-
Crystal, is that correct?
Point of order, please.
Yes, Councilmember Arnold.
Can we get the clerk to actually go back in the record on what just took place? Outside of the back and forth. I thought that you called all of the items. Did we vote?
Yes.
We did.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
Yeah. Consent
It was
agenda's been approved.
unanimous on consent agenda.
Right, so we have an item that was on the consent agenda that should have been removed, right?
Well,
Be-
Hold on, she has the floor.
I'm sorry.
Because we were supposed to be getting information back from the, the vendor on other items. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay, so do we need to reconsider to have this particular item pulled and tabled until we get those items?
Ms. Gilbert, can you shed some light on this?
Yes. So the option that he's going to bring back is going to be the alternate for the same, for Anthem, where they have deducted the cost. So now instead of 39%, it's going to be 16 to 23%. So it would be lower, at a lower cost. It would still be with Anthem. He just got it today. It's why he didn't have any paperwork. He got it prior to him arriving, the call from Anthem. So he is going to provide that information to me, possibly by end of day tomorrow, and I can forward it to the city manager, he can forward it to you all, just for you to view.
Ms. Gilbert, the approval was for Anthem as the provider, correct?
Correct.
So the details within it are still being worked out. But what the council approved in the consent agenda was that Anthem would be the provider for the
That-
upcoming
That is
year.
correct.
That's
Okay.
correct.
Just want to confirm.
And
Thank
what
you,
I,
Madam
and
Mayor,
I-
for that
what I was
clarity.
reminding the city manager was that we're still waiting on that to come back. I just wanted to make that point. I didn't think it needed a do-over necessarily, but I just wanted to
We keep-
reiterate that, so I think you're fine.
it's about Anthem.
Thank
We
you.
keep-
Yes. Okay.
Item 10A, consideration of an action on a request to approve a resolution consenting to the expansion of Airport West Community Improvement District. This item is at no cost to the city. This item is being requested by Jaquez Garcia, Economic Development Program Manager. This will service wards 2 and 3.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Items 10B, C, D, E, and F were removed. Moving on to item 10G, consideration of an action on request to purchase a 2026 JHB Group Fire Safety Simulator Trailer for the Office of the Fire Marshal Fire Protection Community Risk Reduction Division via EMS Service Company as the dealer. This item is sponsored by Councilwoman Dr. Jamel McKenzie. This item is being funded by the mayor's Community Enhancement Non-Capital Expenditure Budget for 2026 at a total cost of $278,982.12. This unit will service all wards.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous amongst those present.
Chief. I'll just give you a thumbs up.
Great.
Yeah, good job.
10H, consideration of an action on a request to approve an ordinance to amend Chapter 5, Article 12, multifamily housing, lodging, and commercial business, tree debris, and removal of stumps. This item is sponsored by Mayor Pro Tem Joe Carn.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Councilmember Gay, were you in favor? Councilmember, what did you vote?
I can't ask the question until after I vote, right?
What is your vote?
I guess I approve it.
All right, that is unanimous amongst those present.
Can you ask for questions?
We're in between, so Councilmember, you have an issue?
No, I don't have an issue. I just had a question. Can somebody tell me what the tree debris removal consists of in this, ordinance?
Well,
Councilmember Carn?
After the vote.
Is it like apartments?
It's for multifamily,
it's,
commercial.
it's multifamily and commercial. Apparently, some of what's been going on is that a lot of these outfits, if they do remove trees, they leave the stumps out, which is basically a hazard, and particularly in some of the hotels, in motels, and particularly in the apartment complexes, where it can be some liability for us. And it just, we have outlines and ordinances for decent landscaping for all of these commercial properties. But a lot of times, the details aren't in there, and that was one of the details. It didn't speak directly to tree stump removal, which is a requirement in a lot of other cities. So it's just something that we needed to tighten up in the event where we've had some issues and some contests where, yes, we have to keep decent landscaping, but it doesn't say you have to remove when you have 30 tree stumps in an area, which is unsightly and a trip hazard and everything else. So that's kind of along the lines of what this was about.
Madam Clerk?
Yes, Madam Mayor. Item 10I, consideration of an action on a request to amend Chapter 5, buildings, constructions, and related matter. Article 11, swimming pool code, sections 5-243 through 5-249. This item is sponsored by Mayor Pro Tem Joe Carn.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous amongst those present.
Item 10J, consideration of an action on a request to approve an ordinance amending Chapter 2 of the City Code to clarify execution of official documents, authority of the Mayor Pro Tem, and parliamentary procedures for mayor and council meetings. This item is co-sponsored by Mayor Pro Tem Joe Carn and Councilwoman Dr. Jamel McKenzie.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote.
I'm sorry, Madam Mayor. I just want to make sure we are clear on the version of this legislation that we're voting on. There's a version that where under the city attorney makes the determination that an elected official should not have further comment during the remainder of the meeting while retaining the right to vote. And there's another version where under that determination is made by a unanimous vote of the city council. And so I'm just trying to determine which version the council is voting on.
The version that's in the packet, yeah, that doesn't have the council would have to make that determination.
Very good, thank you.
We also removed two of the clauses. I think it was C and D were removed. Or is it D?
No,
No,
it
D
was
and
only
D
one.
and E. D and E were removed.
I
Yeah.
thought it was only one removed.
It was two clauses, D and E.
Can you tell me what those were?
And when we, I thought,
Okay, we removed the
Counsel.
clause that says, D says, in the event the mayor is unable to sign or unable to act as defined, Mayor, I wasn't acknowledged by the presiding officer.
You were not.
Okay.
Councilmember, go right ahead.
Okay, thank you. In the event, D is in the event the mayor is unable to sign or unable to act as defined in subsection C or otherwise fails to execute an ordinance, resolution, contract, or other official document, but basically we removed that. E is a refusal or failure by the mayor to execute documents approved by the city council for reasons other than those were removed. So, Councilwoman Arnold, I'm just discussing the fact that we removed D and E from the ordinance. We're at the last ordinance right now. And that was decided that we would not, that was not necessary in the language.
Any further discussion?
yes.
Councilmember Hart?
Now, I do believe that the authority in terms of disruptions needs to, I think, lay with the parliamentarian. If we're deciding on that, it could, I want an uninterested party to make that decision. Folks, we're just trying to stop a lot of the dissension, and I guess the goal is to ensure going forward that these meetings proceed in some decency and in order. I think the last issue was a perfect example of that type of dysfunction and selective choices and rulemaking arbitrarily depending on who the person was. Councilwoman Arnold asked the HR director a question and did not ask you for permission, literally a few minutes after you insisted that everyone had to do that. And you know, there's some folks who are just experts at manufacturing confusion and dysfunctionality in a sense. And some people are just determined to foster dissension and disagreement. And, you know, in an attempt to trigger others in a way that makes the meetings dysfunctional on purpose. And this is something that would hopefully start to nip that in the bud. In terms of policing ourselves, I think the decision for disruption of this meeting needs to lie with the parliamentarian. Because if it lies with us and we have to take a vote, it could go any way depending on who's disrupting the meeting. So I think it's a more even-handed way to enact this legislation if we're actually going to have peaceful meetings. And I think once we do enact it, I think a lot of the disruptions will clear up pretty quickly. So my support would be towards the parliamentarian handling the disruptions and the recourse in terms of making sure that anyone who is out of order is no longer part of that meeting and discussion.
All right, any further discussion?
Yeah.
Councilmember Gay?
Can the city attorney clarify the ordinance with the things that were taken out? Because I wasn't quite sure. So the more for me was the requiring mayor to sign documents. Was that taken out?
No, sir. It's subsection D and E.
That wasn't taken out? Was not taken out?
No, not the part that requires the mayor to sign documents, only subsection D and E, which set forth consequences for that failure. So subsection D talks about what happens in the event the mayor is unable to sign or does not sign for a reason other than disability. And so that subsection is removed as well as subsection E as an echo. So it's looking at section C with those subsections.
Because I thought we amended the charter that if the mayor, for whatever reason, did not sign in 3 days, the mayor pro tem sign. I thought that was the,
That's in there, yes, sir.
so, but doesn't that make this moot?
No, sir. What this does is it changes it and it says that, for whatever reason, because previously if the mayor did not sign for whatever reason, after 3 days, the mayor pro tem signs. Now, under this ordinance, that whatever reason is gone and there are only prescribed reasons, certain reasons where the mayor would, could not sign. And if it's not one of those reasons, which is listed in the ordinance, like military service, incapacity, being out of the jurisdiction, if it's not one of those reasons, then the failure to sign would constitute a violation.
And what's the violation?
Well, it sets forth in the ordinance that it would be a violation of this ordinance, that the mayor is obligated to sign.
But if she doesn't sign, what's the remedy?
Well, the remedy was in subsection D, it says, in the event the mayor is unable to sign or unable to act as defined in subsection C, or otherwise fails to execute an ordinance, resolution, contract, or other official document approved by the council within 3 business days as required hereunder, the mayor pro tem shall be authorized to immediately execute such document with the same force and effect as if executed by the mayor. Any failure or refusal by the mayor to execute such document for reasons other than those expressly identified in subsection C shall constitute a violation of this code and a failure to perform a duty of office.
I heard that, but what's the consequence afterward? If we took it out, then
Sure.
what?
Well, when we take that out, then that becomes an open question. Because before we had, it may subject the mayor to a legal or administrative remedies as authorized under state law, the city charter, this code, including without limitation, censure, mandamus, or proceeding under the ethics ordinance. That was,
It's taken out, right?
that's taken
So there are
out.
no consequences if the mayor refuses to sign, other than allowing the mayor pro tem to sign in
Well,
3 days?
There are no specifically stated consequences, so I don't know what the council's intention is for that. I don't know what the intention is.
Still gonna try to get me out.
I just want to know, if we took the consequence out, what is the point? If there's no consequence, what's the point of having is it just ceremonial? Is it?
Presiding officer, can I respond to Councilman Gay?
Councilmember McKenzie?
Okay, so basically, one of the purposes of this legislation is just to clarify what the word cannot means. And so that is what C gives you the reasons why the presiding officer cannot sign. So it wasn't about trying to create a penalty. However, the penalty, I guess the basic comes down to, it becomes charter. And so if the presiding officer fails to have one of those 7 reasons for not signing, they have violated the charter. And whatever comes with the violation of the charter, we don't have to micromanage exactly what the penalty would be. Whatever comes with the violation of charter. And so that was what my understanding was, that we didn't have to get nitpicky and say this, that, and the third. It's just that the charter, there's certain areas where the charter is not clear. And that's all.
Councilmember Gay?
But why is it necessary if we've already amended the charter to allow Mayor Pro Tem to sign, in the fact that she didn't? The goal was to get a document signed. It wasn't punitive. It was to get the document signed. So why is it even?
It's not the goal.
I'll give you the background. I'll give you
Councilmember
background
McKenzie?
from my perspective. I served as Mayor Pro Tem in 2025, and we're still waiting because there's so many documents that I had to execute because the mayor refused to sign them. And these documents, some of them we have copies of this evening in some of our emails, were very important pieces of legislation, but the mayor just all out refused to sign. And I may have signed almost as many documents as the mayor did in 2025. A few weeks back, when we first started the budget workshops, the city clerk asked me to execute a document from 2025 when I was the mayor pro tem that the mayor had refused to execute. My response was, I no longer have the authority to sign a document. And if anybody thinks that I'm going to sign a document that was voted on in 2025 and 2026 and backdated, you got the wrong person. So, the other issue was, for the mayor pro tem to sign this document, the current mayor pro tem was not the mayor pro tem in 2025. So how does he sign ethically a document that was dated 2025 in 2026? Because he did not have the authority to sign it in 2025. The only person that had the authority and the ethical and the fiduciary responsibility to sign any document for their entire term is the mayor. And we cannot, and we have had council meetings, and I'm going to end with this. We've had council meetings where the mayor just all up says, I'm not going to sign. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be like Joe Carn for 15 seconds. If that was me, there's a group that would be trying to recall me for derelict of duty. Because if it is your duty and you just all out say, I'm not going to sign, we do not have veto power for the for the presiding officer in this city. And so this is just one of those instances that rather than complaining and refusing to do one's fiduciary duty, we just all need to do our job. We all need to stay in our lane. So basically, this just sets up, okay, so what is it actually? What would be the reasons? And the last thing I will say, and I said this for those of you that watched my YouTube or my Facebook, I served as the chair of BIDA for 2 consecutive terms. And there were several pieces of legislation that BIDA passed that I did not agree with. I actually voted no. But I understood my role as the chair is not for me to inflict my personal opinions, but it was to fulfill the will of the body. Now, if there was one case where there was a document that I was about to sign and it was missing very important things. In a situation like that, no one should be refused. No one should be made to sign a document that is inaccurate. However, I understood my duty. I was there. I could have turned down the ability to chair BIDA, but I knew when I took on that responsibility what it entailed. And anyone who runs to be the mayor of this city needs to check what that entails. What is that responsibility? What can I do and what can I not do? So basically, what I'm saying is that when this council passes a piece of legislation, it always gets passed by a majority vote. And that majority vote represents the majority of this city. Each one of us, whether liked or not, has been elected by a majority of our district. And we hold the responsibility and the accountability to make decisions on behalf of our electorate. When we vote up here, again, if 3 of us agree or more, or in a case where just now Councilwoman Arnold was out and it required the majority vote of whoever was here, we are representing the people. The presiding officer, who is the mayor of this city, does not have the ability to say, I refuse to sign on documents that have been voted on behalf of the majority of my city.
Okay.
Councilmember, I'm sorry, Madam Clerk wanted to interject, and then I'll come to you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just would like to state for the record the ordinance that Councilwoman Dr. McKenzie was referencing, that I was advised by legal to route it in that direction regarding the mayor pro tems. So I will chat with city attorney and city manager regarding that ordinance tomorrow to follow up with that, the next step.
Councilmember Carn?
Well, I think some of this stems from, I listened to someone's agenda review situation, and I think the issue that was raised was that they weren't going to be forced to sign an illegal document, and that was the reason why there was disagreement with this ordinance. City attorney, apparently someone is under the impression that you and your office have been producing illegal documents for her to sign, and now, this evening, we're all trying to force her to break the law and commit a crime. So I just want to get this clear. So every single document, and there's been quite a few that have been refused to be signed, whether they're fraudulent or illegally forged or falsified. I don't know if that's what some of us up here think. But firstly, I don't think there's anyone up here who would sign off on an unlawful contract or intentionally sign off on something like that of any kind. And any of us as mayor pro tem would never intentionally sign off on some illicit type of fraudulent contract. But here's the thing, we have a responsibility, but there are checks and balances here. Now, I do recall that an item came to us a couple of weeks ago that had mistakenly not been routed to, meaning not reviewed by the legal department when it should have been. I believe that was the May 4th meeting, and it was item 9G to be exact, concerning the playground equipment agenda item. I had said at that meeting, I quote, that I understand, I was speaking to the mayor, I said, I understand what you're saying, and I don't disagree with anything that you said. And I said, nobody up here wants to prove anything in violation of state law at all. So we're all on the same page here. And that's what I did say. No one's going to sign off on anything improper here. But, and we do have a vacancy in our purchasing department. We currently are without a director and have an interim staff member in place. But I do think the purchasing should be communicating with legal a little bit more per week to be certainly, just review those procurement documents. But, and city attorney, this is expressly why we are looking at some supplemental, some in-house, ideas and concepts as well, because it's very important, and we want to make sure we're checking all our corners here properly. But I want to make something else clear for the record, y'all. Just as all municipalities throughout the United States, the city of College Park has several checks and balances in place as standard protocol. All of our ordinances and contracts, they have what's called an ordinance servability clause. And it's a legal provision that keeps the remaining portions, of any contract or ordinance enforced. Should a court, declare one or more of the provisions are unconstitutional or unenforceable. So it's meaning if a court finds a portion invalid, the servability provision, it acts as an instruction to a judge or whatever have you. That way it declares the legislative body's intent. It's the rules stand independently of any errors. So I don't think it's so much of an issue of incorrectness. We have checks and balances for that, so we don't get bad legislation that gets through. But back to the other issue in terms of procedures and parliamentary procedures for disruptions, I do believe that the parliamentarian should handle that. If there's a disruption and it's notated twice by our parliamentarian, I don't think it should have to come to a vote to us, because if it does, it defeats the purpose of what we're doing in terms of trying to maintain order. I think that should be up to the parliamentarian, and if there are disruptions on 2 occasions, then that individual shouldn't be able to deliberate anymore for that meeting. And that does not need to be a decision, I think, for us. In terms of the difference with the mayor, 2 disruptions by any elected official, it should require the same consequences, no different. But that decision can't come up here from us, because at the end of the day, the disruption is up here with us. So you'd have a selective process if you don't have a parliamentarian to enforce that rule. So I'm in favor of the parliamentarian handling repeated procedural violations by a council member or any elected official up here. The rest of it I'm okay with, but having a vote defeats the purpose of even doing it.
Councilmember Gay?
Okay, so, city attorney, does the charter say the mayor shall sign? Does it say she may sign? And is there any limited discretion where the mayor can refuse to sign based on OCGA?
No, I mean, this ordinance requires the mayor to sign, and then a list of circumstances wherein she can, where she is unable to sign.
I said the charter, not the ordinance.
No, the charter doesn't contain that requirement either, no.
The charter doesn't require the
No,
mayor
sir.
to sign, because
No, sir.
because if we're talking about changing our charter,
We're not changing it. This is.
okay, let me say it.
Okay.
If the charter, in my opinion, doesn't require the mayor, if it gives her no discretion, or he or
It
she no
does.
discretion,
There's nothing about signing in the charter.
then we essentially are changing the charter, which we don't have the authority to change the charter by an ordinance. We
No, sir.
can't change the charter using
You're
an
right.
ordinance.
You're right. We cannot change the charter by an ordinance, but we're not changing the charter. The charter is silent. The charter doesn't say anything about signing. So in that silence, we can act. And we've acted with an ordinance, and that ordinance says the mayor shall sign.
So if the charter is silent, can you read anything related to this item? Because you say it's silent, but I've not seen the charter.
Well, we looked at the charter, and we looked at it over back in 2024 when we first enacted this ordinance, and there's nothing in the charter that requires the mayor to sign. So the duty to sign arises from this ordinance. That's where it comes from. It's not in the charter. So this is an ordinance that creates the obligation to sign.
I do agree that the mayor should probably sign, but I also know that there's a remedy for the mayor pro tem.
Right.
And I don't understand what outside of that, and having missed signing a document 2 years ago is not, in my opinion, related to this a one-off. I don't see that being. And then to the public comment, why do we want to incur a liability? I mean, why is this important when we have an opportunity for the mayor pro tem to sign? Why is it even necessary to create this type of challenge to our organization?
I have a response.
We'll go Councilmember Carney, Councilmember McKenzie.
Well, this simply defines the word unable.
That's all it does.
That's all it does. And the reason this is not just about the mayor. Here's the thing. If there's no definition for unable and the mayor decides, not to sign a document, that's her right not to sign a document. But the issue is, if that's the case, then it falls to the mayor pro tem. And if the mayor pro tem is unable by definition, then on and on you go. So unable, just a definition of unable, and I think what the city attorney came up with is a reasonable definition of unable that's understandable, and it just defines that. So that's all that does.
I thought when I
Hold on, Councilmember. Councilmember Carn has the floor.
Oh.
So that's I think that's the gist of it, in a sense. we want to make sure that, because it would apply to the mayor pro tem too.
Would it?
I thought
Sure,
we-
absolutely it would.
Yes.
If you're unable, if you say I don't want to sign, then the mayor pro tem, who has the powers of the mayor, they can say the same thing you did.
I thought it was one or two more council members if the mayor pro tem was on it.
That's not in the, there's no
That's not
way,
in the
that
charter.
is,
It
that
only
was
speaks to the
Hold
mayor
something,
pro tem.
hold on, wait, hold on. Councilmember Carney, you finished?
Well, that was my response
Are you finished?
for now, yes. But I do have some other comments on the other section.
Councilmember Gay?
I'm
No,
next,
here's the
I'm
thing.
next, I'm
Wait,
next.
Ms.
the mayor-
McKenzie was next.
You are correct. You are correct. Councilmember McKenzie and then Councilmember Gay. I
Thank you.
apologize.
The ordinance as it stands, just to respond to Councilman Gay, the ordinance which we voted on, ordinance 20, says the mayor, which is now a part of charter, the mayor shall sign, just to respond to your question. It says, yes, the mayor, I'm reading it, the mayor shall sign as a matter of course all ordinances. This is law in the city of College Park, okay? We passed this.
You mean that ordinance?
Yes.
Hold on.
It's-
Hold
Right,
on.
right.
Wait. Everyone's
So
talking.
this is-
Everyone's
so
talking.
basically when we-
Councilmember McKenzie has the floor.
When a charter amendment is passed, it becomes law.
Okay.
So to answer Councilman Gay's question, does our charter? Yes, because we amended it with an ordinance 2 years ago. And it says the mayor shall sign as a matter of course all ordinances, and I'm looking at 24 ordinances that had to be signed by the mayor pro tem in the last few months. All ordinances, I don't have all the resolutions, all contracts. There's so many contracts the mayor pro tem signed that we couldn't get them all today. 3 businesses of their approval, within 3 business days of their approval by the city council. That is law in the city of College Park at this moment. The problem with the law that was enacted, it did not define this part. If the mayor fails to sign an ordinance, such ordinances, resolutions, or contracts shall be forthwith by the mayor pro tem. Yes. Okay? But we don't know what the mayor, we had to define, in fact, I'm trying to look for that part where it says if the mayor cannot sign, okay? Then the mayor pro tem, okay, right. If the mayor fails to sign in accordance herewith, so that's what we needed to decide. What, in accordance with what? We never defined it. So this is simply, all this is doing is defining it. It's simple and plain. And again, it is stating, just like Councilman Carn said, just if the mayor can just say, I don't want to sign it, because I just don't feel like it, I don't agree with what the legislators came up with, and my job is to execute the documents that the legislators come up with and vote on, duly vote on. The mayor pro tem can do the same thing. And then we will have no documents signed, no documents executed. Now, here's the important thing for those of you that would like to have some more knowledge on this subject. Once the council votes on any item sitting up here, it immediately goes into effect for us, okay? And therefore, it becomes effective. Now, the issue is, and this is where I'm talking about the reputation of the city of College Park. For us, it may be law, but for the contractor, the vendor, whoever this particular resolution is involving, for instance, one of the things two of the documents that I had to sign last year was the creation of the Roderick Gay Botanical Gardens. I also had to sign the creation of the Conservancy because the mayor did not agree with those documents. I had to sign documents about Tracy Arnold being able to get $100,000 in wraparound services for the people of Godby Road. Had to sign some very important documentation. Now, what's the issue with that? Even though we voted for it, Somebody on the other end wants to see a document to support what we voted on. So we might say it's okay, but the people that we're doing business with, it's not okay. And when we fail to produce an executed document, that makes it look like we are not all about business in this city. And there's no reason why any document should not be able to be executed within 3 days. Lastly, as the chairman of BIDE, I'm coming back. I understood my execution of a document was simply my duty. It did not indicate that I was in agreement. This is where we have to grow up and put on our big girl panties. My signature did not mean that I was complicit. It meant I was just doing my job. And so when we get big and we begin to think, we realize that if we decide, if we execute anything and it becomes a problematic, they're not coming to the mayor of College Park with a lawsuit. They're coming to the folks that voted. So signing the documentation does not make you a part of it. It actually does. This is why I'm wearing my Michelle Obama today, because you know what it means? They might go low. I might not agree with them, but I'm going high. Signing the document says, even though I don't agree, I respect the will of the body. And we have this little clause that we have, the chief talks about, we do the civility thing. This is about respect. This is respecting law and order. This is respecting the decision makers' decisions. I have to live and I have to sleep with the votes that I put out here. Me, not the person who executes the document because I made a decision. So what I'm saying, I think this whole thing is petty in terms of refusing to sign the documents. I would love to see a grown-up College Park, starting with this council and the mayor, where people understand that this is not about me. It's not the Jamel show, it's not the Bianca show, it's not the Roderick, Joe, or Tracy show. This is the city of College Park, and it's not a show. And continuously finding some foolishness to make it look like, and I say this every week because I'm really, like Grace said, she's exhausted. It is exhausting to have every single meeting. We got to deal with it looking like we up to no good, when all we're trying to do is good. We're public servants. We don't get paid for this. It's a stipend. And the things that we go through to sit in these chairs, and I don't regret it one bit, but the things that we go through to make sure that the people of College Park are represented, that's what this is about. If any of us ran because we wanted to have our way, we need to resign today. Because if I ran to have my way, I would have resigned the minute some of the folks in my ward started talking stuff about me that I knew was not true. But I'm standing because I'm standing on purpose, and I understand that God put me here, and I'm going to serve him from this seat. And the reason I'm serving is because College Park deserves this. College Park deserves better. Somebody's texting me, telling me to shut up, and I will. This is not about any of us. This is about the people. And when you talk to people who are watching College Park right now, the things that we've seen, now we started off pretty rough in 2024, but now we actually have people coming in the city say, wow, y'all got it going on. We love what we're seeing. Botanical gardens, dog park, murals, developments. They love what they see in this city because we are representing the majority of the city of College Park.
Councilmember Gay?
I think one of the things that we should consider in our next couple of meetings is limiting our rebuttal. I'm talking about one way to keep from being interrupted is stop talking so long, because it don't take people that long in your mind to decide what you want to do. So Fulton County came up with an opportunity to stop and limit rebuttal. I think we should Even the Georgia Supreme Court have rebuttal rules. So that's number one. Number two, for the public, for the record, I'm not defending the mayor because I wrote the ordinance.
You sure did.
I wrote it, but what I also wrote was that you allow the mayor pro tem to sign if she or he didn't sign. That was the spirit of the ordinance that I wrote. When I wrote it, it was about getting the documents signed so the city could move, so no one person could stop it. And not one time did I think it had any punitive effect. I could care less. The third thing I want to say is that the mayor also signed the Roger Gay Botanical Garden name. She also signed the dog park. She done signed quite a bit of stuff that I wasn't expecting her to sign. So it can go both ways if we want to use my initiatives as a point of reference. All I'm just saying is the time we spent on this should have been spent trying to find ways to increase revenue. This energy could have been used to do a lot more than deal with something that's already have a solution. That's my opinion, have been worked up here for 10 years.
Well,
All right, thank you, sir.
one last
Councilmember Carter, go ahead.
And Roger, part of this is about revenue as well. Now, folks, we only have a couple of job requirements for us as council members and mayor. One is citing ordinances. Now, this is at some level a bit of responsibility involved in this. Y'all got to keep in mind, an unsigned document, and I agree with when you made sure that we made that happen, but unsigned documents can technically be legal, I guess, but unsigned contracts and ordinances, that's going to cast a lot of doubt in the minds of, say, a developer or other governments, in particularly with intergovernmental deals and situations where those developers or contractor or another government will only accept a signed agreement, and that would run folks off. If I can't go to the bank with a signed document and I'll say, well, the city passed it, just trust me on this. Well, they don't follow Robert's rules necessarily. So a signed document is a standard, and we want to make sure we maintain that standard whether we like the legislation or not. So again, defining that simple word, I think, is reasonable, and I think we could hopefully move forward from there. Again, in terms of the parliamentarian situation, I believe the parliamentarian should dole that out, and it should not be up to us, because if we're going to have decent meetings, as it was seen 20 minutes ago, what could happen, and nothing probably would have happened if there had to be a unanimous vote up here, you still get the dysfunction. So, again, the parliamentarian, I think, needs to straighten things out and bring a little order here, because the dissension and disagreement by the person that's supposed to be managing this meeting that clearly cannot manage this meeting properly. Otherwise, we would not have meeting after meeting dysfunction. And it's dysfunction on purpose. So this is why this legislation is here. And it's not picking on, if I can finish, it is not picking on the mayor at all. Mayor, I had the floor, and you gave me the floor.
Hold on, but Robert's Rules of Order prevents personal attacks. And saying that I can't run a meeting, or I don't know how to run a meeting, is a personal attack, and I would ask that you refrain from that. Please proceed.
All right. In terms of the management of these meetings, clearly it's not happening.
Council member, again.
Mayor.
Again.
Mayor.
Again.
I wasn't.
It is violative
referring to
of
you at
Robert's
all.
Rules of Order. Please proceed without personal attacks.
Mayor, that was not personal. And this rule would apply to everyone. This is not something to single out the mayor at all. If there are disruptions, it applies to the council members as well. And I think that it should. So this is not picking on one particular person over another. But this is something that I think we all need. So.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote.
I was.
Councilmember McKenzie?
So, Councilman Carn, this does allow the parliamentarian to intervene, just like the interchange that you and the mayor were having right now. The parliamentarian would have the authority to intervene. However, if you look at the legislation closely, if a council person is found to be out of order twice, the body doesn't make a decision. It's just, there's no vote. It's only in the case of if it's found that the presiding officer, in order for the presiding officer to no longer be able to conduct the meeting and the mayor pro tem, that would require a unanimous vote of the body. And I don't think this is all about trying to punish people. It's just about us holding ourselves accountable and having somebody from the outside just to kind of nudge us and say, hey, get it together. So I do not have a problem with the council being the one through it's a unanimous vote. It has to be a supermajority vote for the presiding officer. I think it's just the point that we want to conduct meetings that are more peaceable. And so I see the legislation as written. I don't have any problems with it.
I just think that
Councilmember?
that section should
Okay, all right.
apply across the board. That's all.
All right, any further
I didn't
discussion?
hear what he said.
He
I
said-
just think that that provision should apply across the board. There's an exception. Now, I don't think the mayor should be removed at all, but in terms of discipline, if there are disruptions, I think the parliamentarian should remove any elected official that cannot behave. It needs to apply across the board. And with a unanimous vote, that's something that would likely never happen. So there will continue to be disruptions up here. If one person is immune from a decision because they have to have a unanimous decision. A parliamentarian, we want an independent person to make a judgment across the board for all of us. And it should apply even-handedly.
All right, any further discussion?
So I would make a caveat that provision would apply to all elected officials in terms of process for them not being able to deliberate for the rest of that particular meeting.
So are you saying that?
Hold on, wait, hold on. Councilmember, are you making a friendly amendment?
I am.
Okay, can you state that for the record for the clerk?
Councilwoman McKenzie, what was your understanding?
Again, this is not intended to punish anyone. It's just intended to have us understand that we are setting up a system to do better. And so the legislation as it's written, I do not have a problem with it. I am not looking at this as a means to shut the mayor down, okay? But I'm looking at it as a means for us to have orderly meetings. I really believe that if we practice this ordinance as written at this moment, that it will change our mindset when we come in here. And I think this is a first step. And I don't know the legality in terms of a parliamentarian being able to determine that somebody should not be able to speak in a meeting when you have legislators. So I think that still goes back to the legislators. And if we can't get a supermajority to say that we all agree that that the presiding officer should not continue through the meeting, then we should not do it. And that's why I don't have a problem with the way it's worded at this time, Councilman Carn.
Councilmember Carn, go right ahead.
Well, I believe that this ordinance as it is, it would make things more orderly amongst the council members. But in terms of disruptions, if the mayor were to disrupt, it wouldn't make a difference at all practically with a unanimous vote because that would likely never happen. So you would have a situation where this council, I think, would be more orderly. But it wouldn't require the mayor to be because there's very, very a remote chance of that happening in terms of the parliamentarian making the decision and then we having to make a decision to overrule that based on our behavior up here or particulars up here. So I think it should apply across the board.
All right, any further discussion? Councilmember Arnold?
Mr. City Attorney, can you clarify the ordinance as it's written based on the roles that we're in, council versus mayor?
Now, the ordinance as written requires a vote in both instances.
Oh, it does in both instances? I didn't see that.
This doesn't say that.
It didn't say that.
What we got yesterday.
The new version, I thought, that you sent us, that you emailed us yesterday?
Yeah, that's, I don't know which one was in your packet. Which one was in your packet?
We
The
have
one that's in our packet is the old version, is not the one that was emailed at, what was it, 7 or
7
8 o'clock
yesterday.
last night? So if you could just clarify the version that was sent to us, which is the version that I believe that we are considering.
Right. And so that version is, and I'm looking at this right now, what I have, there's a provision in subsection 6 and a provision in subsection 7. Subsection 6 relates to repeated procedural violations by a presiding officer. Subsection 7 relates to repeated procedural violations by council member. And so on subsection 6 by the presiding officer, it states that any member of the city council may move to designate the mayor pro tem as presiding officer for the remainder of the meeting. Such motion shall require unanimous affirmative vote of the council members. And so for the presiding officer, if there are disruptions, it will be a motion that requires unanimous vote.
Councilmember Carter, did you want to be acknowledged?
Yes.
Okay,
if
go
there-
right ahead, you have the
if-
floor.
If there has to be an unanimous vote for both council and mayor, then I think we would make no progress towards better meetings if we approve this. It puts us in the same situation. It doesn't, without a parliamentarian, a referee, someone removed from this dais up here, I don't think we straighten out the problem and the issues.
Councilmember Arnold, did you have something?
But isn't the ordinance written where the parliamentarian is calling the balls and the strikes, correct?
Yeah, if you're asking me, that would be yes, because under subsection, related to the presiding officer, it's going to require a motion of the council member and a unanimous vote. With regard to a member of council, there is no such procedure, and it's just the parliamentarian making the call. And so, I believe Councilman Carn is suggesting that that should be the rule across the board, that the parliamentarian makes the call. And I know some are concerned of whether that's lawful. Two issues, whether it's legal, whether it's a good idea. I always address myself to the former and not the latter. You can delegate that authority if you so choose. You have to decide whether that's a good idea to do or not.
I think we need to delegate it, but that's just my opinion. I think we'd have much better meetings.
All right.
Presiding officer?
Councilmember McKenzie?
Again, I hear what Councilman Carn is saying, but I really believe, again, the intention of this council is not to be punitive towards any member of this governing body. The intention of this should just be having the parliamentarian to stop us when things are going too far. And I would like, my suggestion is to proceed with the document as written. And then if we find that that is not working and we're still having contentious meetings, then we can come back and revisit this. But my request at this time is that the language and the document, so what I had seen did not have, I don't remember seeing where council members would be, have to have a majority as well. So, what you've just now read, to me, it's just saying that we're gonna behave ourselves.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are we voting on the motion or the substitute motion?
The motion.
There has been no substitute motion. We are voting on the motion that is on the floor.
Then this is the parliamentarian, right?
And which one? This is for one and the other, is that?
No, it's for,
Right,
it's,
for
it's,
a vote for the mayor, no vote for council.
oh, no, it's a vote for both.
That's why I asked specifically.
This is a vote for both of us.
Well,
Yes, sir.
no, he just said different, that's why I
I
asked.
just
to
read
make-
it.
to
I
make
read what
sure.
it said.
Right.
It says repeated procedural violations by council member. In the event a city council has been advised by the city attorney acting as parliamentarian on 3 or more occasions during the same meeting regarding a breach of decorum in good order or noncompliance, let me scroll down. Any member of the council may move to limit the privilege of that person to discuss agenda items for the remainder of the meeting, but such motion shall require the unanimous affirmative vote of the remaining council members present and voting.
That was the revision that Councilman Carn suggested, which was different than what I understood to have been in the agenda packet. So. I
Mr.
think-
Denmark, can you get closer to your microphone, please?
Sure, so I thought what was in your agenda packet required a unanimous vote as relates to the presiding officer, but did not require a vote at all with regard to a council member. And so I guess I stand corrected now, so it requires an active vote for both?
Unanimous for
Unanimous vote
everybody
for both.
that's able
Okay.
to vote. So it puts an equal playing field in both positions. Right,
Well,
you look at-
okay, I'll sign whatever's in front of me. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Wait a minute.
Of what we just now said.
Okay, then, yes.
Okay. Opposed?
Opposed?
All right. Councilmembers McKenzie, Carn, and Arnold are in favor of what we just talked about, and Councilmember Gay is opposed. So I guess I'll see it in 3 days.
I thought we were talking about the parliamentarian.
Okay.
11, city attorney's report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So, we just passed a piece of legislation that's pretty much unprecedented. I've been doing this for a long time, and I've never seen it. And that's okay. I mean, that's okay. Maybe this is, I guess I'll be optimistic, but I'm just gonna look at one portion of it in subsection 3. It says, referring to the parliamentarian, the authority to admonish and maintain order. The city attorney shall also admonish the mayor and city council when there is a breach of decorum and good order in a meeting, when debate has strayed from the subject at hand, or when the debate has grown redundant or so excessive in duration that it is rendered ineffective. In such instances, the city attorney shall actively speak up and intervene to maintain the orderly and efficient operation of the meeting, recommending such motions or measures as are deemed appropriate. In that last of it, I would have admonished a long time ago. I think that we need to be aware that we're ushering in a new and different system. And I take it very seriously. And so it'll be effective at the next meeting. We'll see if it has its intended consequence, but I just want everybody to review it carefully, because I certainly will.
12, city managers report.
Any council just got a couple of things, and I'll move very swiftly here. One of the things I wanted to thank you, Councilwoman McKenzie, for reiterating to the public that the staff is getting a total of 7% raise. 3% was already put into the budget by the company who did the salary study, and we put another 5% into the budget, make it 8%. But once Kristen and I looked at the insurance costs, so we talked about we may have to reduce that by 1%. But again, I think you guys will be pleased with what the salaries are gonna rise to in terms of our public safety. And also wanna make sure you guys understand that public safety is more than police. It's also our fire department. And sometimes we forget to mention our fire department, when we mention public safety. They're not a silent partner. They do just as much as hard work as any other public safety, team. So we wanna make sure that we understand when we talk about raises, we also gotta consider our fire department as well. One of the things I wanted to, highlight here very quickly, because staff is worn out, wanted to talk about one of our staff members. This particular staff member used to go to Conley as a kid. And most of you all don't even know what I'm talking about. They've been here 25 years. Could be Lance, could be Giannis, could be a number of people. They've been our, I guess it's a dead giveaway, they've been our deputy chief for the past 6 years.
What you say?
Past 6 years. Their experience in patrol, they've been on the SWAT team. Imagine that. They've obtained the chief certifications through Georgia Chief of Police. They've got a master's degree in public safety administration. And so I'm honored. Chief, could you stand, please? I'm honored to tell the mayor and council and also our department heads that Sheriff McCrary is officially our chief of police. So thank you, Chief, for keeping your talent here. I know you could have gone to several other places, but thank you, Chief. So we expected great things from you. And also, for the month of April, our department is recreation. So, Kelly, if you could play the video, that will conclude my report. Thank you. Let's see what Lance is doing over there.
In the heart of College Park, community comes alive through recreation, wellness, and arts and culture. This month, we proudly recognize our Department of the Month, the Recreation and Cultural Arts Department. From flag football to basketball, cheerleading, gymnastics, and track and field, to signature community events like the annual Black History Month program, Christmas parade, and pop-up concerts, the Recreation and Cultural Arts Department continues to bring our community together. Their work, along with investments in new playgrounds, parks, and a new dog park, helps make College Park a more active, connected, and vibrant city for everyone. Their team of seasoned professionals also create opportunities for young athletes to grow, compete, and build confidence both on and off the field.
One of the best parts of my job is getting to see firsthand the growth and development of our young players. They come in excited to learn and compete, but along the way they grow into leaders, building confidence, teamwork, discipline, and character. Watching them develop both on and off the field is truly inspiring, and it's rewarding to see the positive impact the program has on their lives. Whether I'm at a sporting event or in the grocery store, and one of the kids from our program comes up to me and recognizes me as one of their coaches, it's truly a rewarding experience.
These programs are more than just sports. They teach teamwork, discipline, leadership, and community pride. One of the department's standout programs is gymnastics, a program with an incredible following that continues to inspire and develop young talent throughout the city.
Historically, gymnastics has not always had a strong African American representation, but that has changed thanks to trailblazing athletes such as Dominique Dawes, Gabby Douglas, Jordan Childs, and Simone Biles. Their success has inspired a new generation of young athletes and helped African American girls see themselves in the sport and help them believe that they belong in gymnastics at every level.
We're proud to see that growth reflected in our own Tumbleweed Gymnastics program, where girls are building confidence, developing discipline, and discovering their talents. It's exciting to watch the program become more inclusive and representative of the community we serve.
The Recreation and Cultural Arts Department also serves our senior community through health and wellness programs. We offer free dance line classes, computer training, and meaningful social activities that keep residents active, connected, and engaged. Residents also enjoy 2 city-run swimming pools, one at Conley Recreation Center and the other right here at the Tracy Wyatt Recreation Complex, providing fun, fitness, and water safety for all ages. Our pools open in June. Mark your calendars, everyone.
Always looking ahead, the department continues to bring innovative recreation opportunities to the community. Today, residents can enjoy a rock climbing wall at the Tracy Wyatt Complex, soccer drone opportunities, pickleball courts at Brady Recreation Center, and a thriving community garden.
Seeing the kids' faces light up when they overcome their fear of heights, when they try something new and master a new skill, it's truly inspiring. It's just as exciting to watch how naturally they embrace technology, creativity, and hands-on learning opportunities. These moments build confidence, curiosity, and resilience, and they remind us why these programs matter so much. We're proud to offer so many different opportunities for young people to learn, grow, challenge themselves, and discover new passions in a safe and encouraging environment.
These programs reflect a commitment to creativity, wellness, and the future of recreation and cultural arts in College Park. Behind every successful program is a team of dedicated professionals who work tirelessly to serve their community.
The passion, leadership, and commitment of our recreation and cultural arts staff help make College Park a stronger, healthier, and more connected city every single day. Through youth sports, cultural programs, community events, parks and recreation opportunities, they create spaces where residents of all ages can come together, stay active, build relationships, and feel a sense of community. Their dedication goes far beyond organizing programs. They inspire young people, support families, and help strengthen the quality of life throughout our city. It is truly an honor to serve alongside such a hardworking and passionate team.
Congratulations to the College Park Recreation and Cultural Arts Department, our Department of the Month. This team of professionals breathe life into the community 365 days each year. Thank you for creating spaces where our community can play, learn, grow, and thrive together.
Madam Mayor, this is
I did have a follow-up question for you, because I did see something. I noticed that we have put out a bid for Destination Marketing Organization Services as of Friday, and I don't recall that being a conversation amongst the governing body, and I was just trying to understand where that came from.
I think there was a conversation that took place in legal review. Mr. Demark, did you want to take that?
Was I here? I think I don't think I was at legal
No,
review.
you weren't. It's your staff. There's been some conversation about our relationship with the DMO. I think they've had the conversation here, and so they also, several council members had the conversation in legal review about the DMO and the funds that are dispersed to College Park. And so the contract ends, I think, June 1st, I believe. And so when the contract ends, legal review said that College Park has a right to go out and solicit other bids to get another DMO, or they could create a DMO according to the state law. And so I think that's what they did, put this out. So they went to legal review first and got the approval from legal, and that's what you see.
I'm sorry, they who?
The council.
The entire governing body?
No, the council that came to legal review.
Oh, okay.
So
Was that-
your colleagues can speak.
Okay.
Good. They're open to speak on.
All right. Okay.
So, Madam Mayor, you can ask them to speak.
I'm good.
So it does have to be concluded. They can
I'm good.
give you the background.
I'm good.
I mean, I encourage them to. Councilwoman McKenzie and Khan, would you like to?
I'm good.
Okay.
Next is report of
Mayor and council.
Well, it has been a meeting pretty much like we do meetings. I want to wish everyone a happy National Public Works Week. I know that we commemorated it with proclamations at our last meeting, but I don't think it ever gets old or we say it enough how much we appreciate the members of our Public Works team and what they do day in and day out in this city. Whether it is sanitation, water and sewer, I mean, the list just goes on, and it never stops. They never stop. They work relentlessly to make sure this place runs. Whether that is you turning on your faucet and water coming out, or you flushing your toilet and things going down and not up. That's really important. And it would not happen without our outstanding Public Works team. So happy National Public Works Week. I heard there might be something towards the end of the week about a rib cook-off or something, so let me know about that. Had the opportunity to engage with other Metro Atlanta mayors in a great discussion about AI, and Bloomberg was there offering their services as cities are trying to figure out exactly how we integrate AI into what we do. Now, obviously, we have already taken some steps in that direction, and some cities are ahead of us, some cities are behind us. I think we're probably about middle of the pack, honestly, but it was an informative opportunity to, A, learn more and engage with other mayors and learn what they were doing in their cities. So tonight at our public hearing, we heard loud and clear that our residents care about supporting our public safety, regardless, like full stop. And I think we still have an opportunity to do some tweaks to try to get this right. I don't know that 7 to 8% gets our public safety professionals where they need to be. I think we need to look again. Because if we're starting out at 55, 53, and we're giving an 8% bump, we're still not in a space where we are competitive with our sister cities. And we heard what residents care about. We spend a lot of time talking about what they don't care about, but we heard what they care about. And it's up to us to execute on those things. So I think that we still have an opportunity in the next couple weeks to see what we can do. And I think we should revisit this and try to make numbers work better. I had the opportunity to engage with Dr. Valerie Montgomery Rice, who heads up the Morehouse School of Medicine, to talk about health equity in the South Fulton region. Morehouse School of Medicine is doing some amazing work, and they are very excited about closing the gap. We heard it in our workshop session that we have a population in our staff that reflects our community. And we recognize that some of those problems that are going on, whether it is diabetes, hypertension, some of these chronic conditions are not only costing money, they're costing lives. And Morehouse School of Medicine is committed to ensuring that the doctors that they train actually stay here. About 65% of the graduates of Morehouse School of Medicine tend to stay in our community. And that's incredible, because when you've got a medical degree, you can go and train anywhere. But they choose to stay here. And we talked about fostering and strengthening the partnership between Morehouse School of Medicine and the South Fulton region. And I know she's going to be reaching out to some of my other colleagues shortly to have some of those same conversations. So I wanted to thank her for her time and her focus. I know she's been really busy with graduation and the like, but she did carve out some time, and it was a very fruitful conversation. And since the beginning of the year, we have eliminated the ability for our residents to participate in our meetings via email. We have said, we don't want your emails, and we don't want you to participate in that way for public comment. We heard it again tonight from Mrs. Lunsford. And I was actually going to say it again, because I think that we should revisit this. any opportunity that we have to allow our residents to engage, to hear what they have to say, we should not cut it off. Our residents are the reason that we are here. We are here in service to you. So if we are cutting off avenues for you to engage with us, that's not right. It is May. I've been beating this drum ever since we made the policy change. I will continue to beat this drum because it is that important. And I want to thank our community for all the amazing things that you do each and every day, for the support that you give us, for the knowledge that you pour in to College Park in each of your unique, incredible ways. Know that, like my shirt says, I won't be remembered as a woman who kept her mouth shut. I'm here for you. I'm here to serve you. And I am looking forward to doing so out into the future. That's all I've got.
All right, we were waiting for the presiding officer to say something. Presiding officer?
That's the clerk's job.
Oh, clerk. Okay.
Ma'am, are you ready for your video?
Yes, and it has been a phenomenal 2 weeks in the city of College Park, specifically in the Ward 1 area. We've had so many amazing things happening. I couldn't get it all in the video, but this video highlights just the tip of the iceberg.
This is Dr. Jamil McKenzie with my May 18th council report. Tonight, I dedicate this report to my beautiful 91 years young mother, Joyce Spencer, and to all the mother and mother figures who have played a vital role in each of our lives.
As many of you may be aware that the Flint River, the headwater to the Flint River, is right here in the city of College Park. And we are dedicating this fountain, which we call the Flint River Unity Fountain, to the Flint River, but also the Flint River runs from one municipality to another in the region. And we wanted to call this the Unity Fountain because just as that river flows through different places, and the river doesn't have any distinction, it just flows. And that's how we want to see unity come about within our community, just that it just flows from one person to the next. Another thing about this fountain is that it is placed right here at the railroad tracks. And many of us know that historically railroad tracks have been used to divide communities. But we chose to place this fountain right here on the tracks because we're saying it's now time not to divide, but to bring us together. So this symbolizes coming together, and it also commemorates the Flint River, which flows through the city of College Park and beyond.
On Saturday, May 16th, we joined hands with the College Park Historical Society to dedicate our new Flint River Unity Fountain, but we also celebrated the grand reopening of our College Park Historical Society. It was an amazing event with over 100 persons in attendance throughout the day, and we really learned a lot about our community. Stay tuned and get involved for more updates on events coming to our College Park Historical Society, along with exhibits that will be shared. And we want to thank Rose Stewart and Ignite for hosting a wonderful session with MASSA about emergency transport options for our community.
I brought it to the community because I realized the importance of emergency transportation. And, you know, when you look at the cost of the ambulance services in our area and even across the United States, the cost is astronomical. And I feel that people need an avenue where they can have less concerns about what their services are.
This informative event was held on May 12th at Breakfast Boys, and boy, did we learn a lot. And on Wednesday, May 6th, we held a special tea and celebration for our senior mothers, as well as we celebrated older Americans. During this time, WellCare came and shared with our seniors as well. We had tons of fun. And we didn't stop there. On Saturday, May 9th, Ward 1 partnered with the Ludacris Foundation to honor our mothers and cherish our families at the GICC.
We're out here in College Park at the GICC Center with an amazing event for moms. The theme is honoring moms and cherishing families. So we're expecting over 500 family members to come out. We've got build your own flowers, build your bath bar, family portraits that can be taken. In addition, we have a total kids zone. We call it Do the Kids. We got bouncy houses, face painting. Just an amazing time for our youth, and maybe give our moms something to breathe. Most amazing to me, and often missing from our events when we're talking about moms, is make sure that we're honoring fathers who are providers. So we've got daddies out here from the Daddy Olympics. They're going to be reading books to the kids in the library, and it's just a full circle event for families, moms, dads, and kids.
And I just want to thank you because you brought this to College Park. And it's just really great to see so many of our College Park families here smiling and really honoring our moms, cherishing our families, and letting our dads know we love them and we love you.
Well, College Park is home for Chris.
Yes.
So it's like, Mom, we got to make sure we're giving love in College Park.
Absolutely.
And now for Ward 1 announcements and updates. We are busy in Ward 1 preparing for the FIFA games with our new flags that could be seen on Main Street. And on May 30th, we'll be celebrating the ribbon cutting for our Virginia Avenue mural extension. And we want to give special thanks to Ashley Bella and her team for lending their creativity for this amazing project. On May 5th, our Public Works team installed 3 historical markers throughout the 6th West District in honor of the original African Americans who lived in this area. We want to give special thanks to the members of FOA and 1 Square Mile for their diligence in the origination of this project, and we look forward to continuing with them. We began our Ward 1 outdoor fitness program led by Mr. Julius Miles of Temple Builders Personal Training.
Rising up, back on the street.
This is the first day we're supposed to be like this.
Took my chances.
I'm tired.
Went the distance, now I'm back on my feet. Just a man and his will to survive.
It's a workout.
So many times it happens too fast.
I wasn't the greatest, but I hung in there anyway, and I'm just determined to keep on building myself up.
Meet us every Tuesday at 7 p.m. at Badges Stadium through October 31st.
The eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight. Rising up to the challenge of our rival. And the last known survivor stalks his prey in the night. And he's watching us all with the eye of the tiger.
All right, first day in the books, we had about 25, 30 people out here. It went very well. Everybody came out full of energy, worked hard. They got a good workout in. I can't wait to see them next week.
Wow, it was great turnout this first session. It was good to see people from all different fitness levels coming out today. Letting you know that this is a matter of if you're advanced or beginner. No one is excluded. We welcome everyone.
This is Dr. Jamel McKenzie, and we're building College Park better every day.
Always love my mama. She's my favorite girl.
Councilmember Carn?
All right, thank you. First, I want to wish all of our mothers a happy and blessed Mother's Day. I had a pretty good Mother's Day, and I hope everybody did as well. Also want to wish my wife a happy anniversary, which was few days ago, last week. Love you, honey. Couple of things. So I know we're looking at one of the last meetings we did, we're going to be moving forward with the Convention Center parking lot resurfacing, and hopefully we'll get that going. I think that, Giannis, you mentioned we're waiting on the contract to get back, and then we can get that outfit moving. Is that right? Okay, so we want to get moving there. I understand that they're ready to move forward this week, so we don't want to wait on that because scheduling is kind of difficult in between the events that you have there. So, the convention center still got to make money, even though you're redoing the park, and you got to make it. You got to play hopscotch over your schedule. So we want to just keep moving forward with that. The Spelman College graduation was a wonderful, amazing event. It was so many young ladies moving into the future with so many educated degrees in education and political science and comparative women's studies in particular, that, with activism and gender rights. And I saw biologists. It was really amazing the kind of young people we're turning out, and very hopeful. Makes you very, very hopeful for the future. That's certainly for sure. Congratulations again, Chief McQuarrie. Glad to have you on board permanently here. I fought many years ago for a 20% increase for the police department, and it was true that one of the city managers at a neighborhood meeting said that we were going to look at a 5% increase for the police department. I made it my business to turn that 5% into a 20%, and I insisted that we not wait at all. We're still not there yet. And we want to make sure we move forward with that. Our officers are very, very crucial in our public safety partners. Police and fire, of course, primarily. They're the backbone of this city. So we want to do everything that we can, and we appreciate every day that you're out there putting it on the line for us. Earlier this month, I worked with staff and city manager on an extensive crime data analysis that at some point I'd like to put on a workshop and really take a look at things in terms of activity from a new perspective. It's pretty eye-opening and enlightening, but I think it targets some of our issues down a little bit closer where we could maybe focus some concentration and look at some new ways of crime mitigation there. We've got to make sure we can do what we can in terms of for our officers to make sure that they're staying in the city as long as possible. We named our public safety complex Front Drive for a great officer that we lost. I initiated the first gun buybacks in the city of College Park over several years, removing hundreds of guns off the street. But we have got to work towards doing more. It's a partnership, and it's an ongoing issue that we have to make sure we crack down on. These ordinances fighting blight, these ordinances setting up more standards for habitation and different things that we have to improve are part of the crime mitigation that we are working towards into this city and integrating into the marrow of this city through the ordinances and things that we're looking at changing. City attorney, I know we talked in legal about the certificates of occupancy. We have it broken down where we can issue a CO by building, but there are some cases, and these are some of the dynamics that we deal with. We need to look at certificates of occupancy per unit in some apartment complexes, and we need that flexibility according to the city attorney, and I do agree, and city manager, in terms of things that we have to do in terms of dealing with the issues that we have on the ground. So we're going to be looking at some new things, and I know code enforcement is excited. Want to welcome our new judge coming on board. All of this is part of public safety collectively, so I think we're going to move forward and continue to make progress in this city. So that's all I have for this evening.
Councilmember Arnold?
Thank you. I want to first start with congratulating Chief McCrary on your permanency. We appreciate you. I also want to say to Chief Jones that I appreciate fire truck number 2 for riding through on Sunday through my community. I was actually out walking the dog and I saw the truck come through. And I was like, wow, this is good to see that they're coming up Princeton Avenue through the community. Just a gentle reminder to my neighbors that we need to stop parking on both sides of the street. And I'm going to kind of leave that up to the HOA president to remind everyone. But you all did make it through, and I appreciate that. We've had another couple of impactful weeks in Ward 3, and I just want to highlight the things that we covered over the past couple of weeks. Right before Mother's Day on May 9th, we hosted Crossland Karate at the TWRC for a women's self-defense class that equipped women within our community with practical tools and confidence building and awareness on how to keep themselves safe. And I want to thank the chief for being there at that event. It was very impactful. Even I got out and learned a couple of new moves, which next time I won't wear jeans, but it was still fun. And on that same day, we also hosted our monthly food giveaway at Summersby Apartments, along with Faith Walkers. And we actually had a food truck this time, which was really nice. There, again, the hot meals. And it's always very meaningful to be able to have conversations with the community and talk to the individuals who come out to pick up those plates. We also were able to give out toiletries and always fresh fruits and vegetables. And so I want to continue to thank our partners in helping us to see about our residents, because our residents are at the heart of everything that we do here in the community. On a personal note, I had the opportunity to go to 2 graduations right before Mother's Day. Congratulations to both my nephew and my son for graduating from Georgia State University and Mercer University, respectfully. They both were focusing on public policy. And so I'm looking forward to, as Councilman Carn said a few minutes ago, to this next generation. We have some very bright young people. They have reached these milestones in their lives, and I'm looking forward to them getting into the workforce. I'm very proud of them accomplishing their goals. While we were celebrating these graduations, I was informed by one of my mother's neighbors that she was being honored at the new Grady Hospital emergency facility. And so, as I understand it, there was a ribbon cutting on this past Monday. One of the board members informed us, and I want to thank the board members of Grady Hospital for honoring my mother, her lifelong work of servant leadership, working at the many blood drives and things of that nature in her community, along with helping to build her community. And so that emergency facility is scheduled to open on June 2nd. The recognition for my mother was a self-painted portrait. Excuse me, not my mother didn't paint it. There was an artist that painted it of my mother. And that portrait is hanging in the Grady Emergency Facility in Union City. And so I am very thankful for those board members for honoring her, especially while she's still here, to be able to see the portrait and to appreciate it. And so if my colleagues here have not had the opportunity to visit the facility, I encourage you to do so. I rushed down last Thursday after we received a phone call to go and visit to see the portrait. And hopefully we can document some more information of how she was selected to be one of those individuals that are honored on those hallowed walls. There was also the request that, that we all visit the new facility. I believe that, I don't know whether or not if we all received a invitation for that ribbon cutting on Monday, but I want to thank the board. I want to thank the Fulton County leadership for making sure that we have a facility within our community, just moments away, just in case we have those emergent situations where we need to go to an emergency facility. It's an absolutely beautiful facility. When you walk through their portraits, not only of my mother, but other individuals who have served South Fulton. And so please take a moment. This is being done not just for us, but it's also honoring us. I want to continue to thank all of my colleagues for their support, the support in legislation, and the support in the services that we are providing to our community members. We still have families that are suffering. We still have families who don't know where their next meals are coming from, and so we have to continue to support our constituents. We have to continue to put funding towards those things that are meaningful towards us. I want to thank the city manager again and our finance director for making sure that we did put funds aside to look after our staff. We have the most talented staff in the South Fulton area. And of course, we want to make sure that we have the resources to take care of all of our emergency services, our public safety officers on every level. We talked mostly about, and we heard mostly about the police officers, but again, we have such a vast staff when it comes to public safety, and we have to make sure that everybody is taken care of. If we can't get the funding, if we can't get more than the 10% that we want, we do have a plan to address those salaries that are more than what we're offering right now. I am pleased with what the city manager has for our staff, and I'm looking forward to us continuing to build on that plan. He'll share the details with us later, but I say at 10. Thank you.
Councilmember Gay?
The Ward Fork Citywide Festival was voted on as a community event by the previous council before this one, Lungino, myself. So I don't think it needed to have been put on the agenda because it's already a citywide event that you can verify through the minutes, okay? That's why I didn't sponsor it as a say the date. It's always the second Saturday in October. So this would be its 10th year. So that's why I didn't think it needed to be sponsored. And if the clerk could pull those minutes for the city manager, I would appreciate it, okay? Secondly, I want to say, that's why I asked about the budget. There's been numerous TPD projects, and you've done a good job, but I saw that some was missed. So I want to I know you won't be here Wednesday, but I don't know how y'all gonna do this, but there were projects, and I don't know what pecking order they are in, but I do know that there are TPD projects that has been voted on unanimously. Now, how you pay for them, but I do know that they were put on there, and myself led the charge in finding the money. Remember, there was no money. I led that charge. So there are TPD projects. I think there's land purchases that needs to be, but, you know, understood in the 26-27 budget. We're not just gonna randomly pick projects at the will of who gets to spend them first. These projects should go in the order of how they've been voted on and how they should be established. On the DMO, I would appreciate a professional courtesy if I'm gonna bring something up. If y'all gonna have legal review and come up with a bid process, it would be, as a matter of professional courtesy, it would be good to talk to the body. I don't mind coming up with ideas, but I don't want it been done at my expense. So if I'm gonna bring something up, at least give me the courtesy. If it's gonna put money in your coffers, if it's gonna put money in your ward, at least give me the respect of saying, hey, what do you think about this? We don't wanna learn about it at a council meeting, that bids are going out. I mean, respectfully, if we're gonna use each other's energies, let's look at the whole gamut. Fourth thing is, I think we should have a conversation about people who are getting contracts, who are suing the city. I mean, there's several people who have done anti-litem notices who are bona fide contractors. I don't think you can have both ways. You know, I just did a deposition where the lawyer was talking about public money, but at the same time, he wanted to sue the city to get public money. I just think that if you're suing our city, I don't think you should be denied a contract, but I don't think you can double dip. I don't think you should have it both ways, and you're talking about 7% for police officers, but then you're giving other people $500,000, and we're self-insured. We're self-insured for the first, what, city attorney?
$300,000.
So if y'all want to give people $300,000, then, you know, make them earn it. If they got an anti-litem notice, they probably should not be recipients of contracts. We got one person that done $750,000, and it just, people got anti-litem notices out here. I just think that's a conversation we need to have. You can't sue us, take public money, and then make money. Then that means we're just talking to be talking. Third, I don't have to say this again, but I want to thank the staff who put together that dog park. It was an amazing accomplishment. I mean, to see the entire city staff work together is when government works, from Chairman Pitts in Fulton County voting for $1 to mayor and council voting unanimously for it, to seeing the bid process work, getting the, you know, getting a responsive bidder, to adding the land. It was just amazing, and I hope everybody enjoyed it. Had me going to PetSmart, renewing my dog vaccination so they can go. So I just want to thank the staff. You all did an amazing job. You all should be very proud of yourselves. That was done only because of staff. Mayor, you'll be happy to know, and Dr. Rice will be happy to know, that in 1994, we started the occupational medicine residency of occupational environment medicine at Morehouse and Emory. Myself, Dr. Howard Funkin, Paveen Varma, Dr. Maupin. So those fourth-year medical students probably never would have imagined this fellow sitting over here established a practical part of their residency. So we've been playing on stages for a while, guys. This ain't our first rodeo. Not our first rodeo. Oh, I want to give condolences to Mr. Johnson on Jesse Dent, who lost his wife. I remember her smile. So my condolences to you, Mr. Otis Johnson, for losing your wife. I also want to say that when Longino and Ambrose, we talk about what they were allowed to do. But it's also worth mentioning that not one time did they ever sponsor legislation to even stop anybody doing anything. They just sat over there and stayed on their phone. But not one time did those three people ever sponsor any legislation, and not to put the attorney on the hot seat. But just because you got the votes, it's, you know, it's, I've been up here long enough to see them come and go. You don't, it ain't sustainable. It ain't, tomorrow ain't promised up here. So, vote like tomorrow matter. As Muhammad Ali say, power's a slippery pole. Again, I want to say that the TPD has several capital projects. They all need to be funded appropriately. Mr. Hicks, in the budget, we talked about an LMIG of 300,000, and there's a sidewalk on Herschel Road that's damaged. We would like to know if that money can be identified, if we could look at sponsoring that on the agenda for the 2026 fiscal budget to repair that. It's the beauty strip. If you go down Herschel Road from Camp Creek to Hawthorne, there's no curb. It's been knocked out. Someone did it, so we want to look at fixing that. And again, on the DMO, I just want us to be very intentional about that. You know, we don't want to just, you know, I don't want it to be a sham. It need to be a thoughtful process. You can't just come up there on Wednesday and just make it happen. Don't work like that. You just can't work like that. Also, I want to thank whoever had the initiative to put flower pots at the recycle bin. I don't know who did that, but whatever department did that, I was shocked. It's the first time I seen a department doing a project without just shocked me. So whoever did that recycle bin and put those flower pots up there, I was very grateful to see that. Another thing is, we used to get an email when directors traveled, when they wasn't in today, and when our executive assistant wasn't here. There was always a policy that we would get an email for staff travel, because it matters for us to know who of our directors are out of town. And they used to come before us for their travel. They didn't just automatically travel. That was brought before mayor and council. That was always a practice. If we don't want to keep that practice, then let's put it on the agenda and move away from it. But that's just the practice that we've been getting. I see directors, I don't see them no more. You don't know if they're in town, out of town, if they're on trips. You just don't see them. And last but not least, we keep talking about the staff, but I want to bring back to the point is that you can't just play on police and public safety and feel good about saying it. You got to look at the whole problem. I mean, the man just told you that we give more of a contribution than anybody. We still have this antiquated pension. We still have an old workforce. I mean, that's a lot that we act as if we don't know, but yet we want to, and I get it. But we can't just use law enforcement, public or us, as a play when we're not being cognitive of all of our actions. So I don't want to patronize law enforcement. If we mean it all the way around. And to your point, it's water and sewer is just as dangerous as wearing a vest. Sanitation can get epidemiological infections. It's just so much that our staff can do. It ain't just law. It's not just police. It's all those staffs. And tomorrow is election day.
That's right.
Everybody, please go vote. You already know who I support, but I'm not going to say it. But please go vote tomorrow and make your vote count. And I want to thank Fulton County for having done an amazing job with the early voting. They've done an amazing job. These polls have moved pretty quickly. I've already voted early. And Mayor, I believe that's my time. I got one other thing. City manager, we have some Airbnbs that, at our town hall meeting, as you recall, the community was concerned about Airbnb enforcement. And so, city attorney, we need to look at a cease and desist. Whatever that looks like. If we gotta take it to the state court, the superior court, we need to look for a cease and desist. We can't just continue to month after month after month not have a remedy. I get the part about Lanice Lyons, I get that. But we need a cease and desist attack on their door, because we don't allow that in our ward. I mean, if I was breaking the law, I'm gonna get arrested. You know, if you were driving with a breath alcohol over 0.7 or under 0.7, it's still quasi-criminal. We just need to do a cease and desist. We just need to step up our game. And then that house on Lakeshore Drive, I mean, it's the same, Ward 4 is experiencing the same efficiencies month after month after month after month. We need to, you was there, Mr. Hicks, you did a beautiful job at the town hall meeting, beautiful job. Thank you for coming, but we now need to enforce the residents' concerns. They haven't been enforced, and we need to enforce them. So, I think I've covered all my points, Mayor.
All right, thank you, sir. Is there a motion to enter into executive session for the purposes of discussion of personnel, real estate, personnel litigation, real estate, and cybersecurity?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous. We will enter into executive session at this time.